Hello everyone and welcome to the channel. I'm Emmanuel, I'm an airline pilot, and today let's take out the brand new ATR update for a flight from Munich to Prague and then back towards Munich. Also, a livery that I have been really missing for quite a long while, the good old Eurowings livery, and you can see I kinda duck for shelter here under the wing as the weather in Munich is really not that good today. However, that is only going to make for some more exciting flights. So, as people say, the duration of the walk around is completely independent of the actual weather conditions. So for that reason, I suppose we are quickly going to do our walk around and see how fast we can run and if that is worth a new world's record. We're gonna start off at the aft door and have a quick look around the airplane's fuselage, check the wings for any sign of damage, and then we've got 5 static discharges up here. On towards the propellers. Something I do find really amazing on the ground is how they are bent forward over here. That's something that I've actually seen on a couple of ATRs in real life, even though it always used to be my belief that they would only bend forward during the flight due to the forces acting on the propeller blades. But that seems to be how they are made. Okay, so the airplane is looking good. Then we can go ahead. And unfortunately it looks like the AOA vane is still stuck in the up position. But we will survive that. Okay, quick look in the forward landing gear and everything's good over there. And then we can go over to the side. Another stuck AOA vane. Ooh. I have flown the max. I know how to turn the MCAS off, just in case. Okay, and let's finish up on the other end side, and then we can head over inside and start our pre-flight briefings. So, I've already completed a sim flight plan for our flight today. Expect the flight time 52 minutes, so it is going to be quite a quick one. Okay, welcome to the ATR cabin. Now, might be a little bit compact over here, so why don't we just about pick the next best passenger seat in order to conduct the pre-flight briefing with the rest of our crews, which is basically what we would always be doing in real life as well, at least in our 737 operations. Kevin FI is asking in the comments already if the ATR is worth getting, and my answer is yes, absolutely. Absolutely. If it was priced at $100, I would say, yeah, maybe we can talk about it, but at the price point of $20 maximum, I would absolutely say it really is a steal for that money, and don't be turned down by the fact that it only costs $20. It really is worth quite a bit more. Okay though, I am definitely talking too much, so let's go ahead and have a look into the flight plan. As always, I am using Sim Toolkit Pro in order to display my sim brief plan. We can already see on the weather radar that we've got quite a strong frontal system passing over Germany at the moment, moving towards the Czech Republic, and Munich is right in the middle of it at the moment. So that's the weather conditions that we're facing, but at least we only got amber returns over here, a little bit of dark amber, but nothing red, which is only up to the north. So that is promising. Okay, quick look into the flight plan. Munich towards Prague, Eurowings 9527. By the way, in case anyone's wondering, yes, Eurowings did indeed fly ATRs before they became the Eurowings that we know today. Okay, plant at level 190. We've got to see how the temperatures are going to be up there in order to decide on possible icing problems. Now somebody slap the dispatchers, please. Why do we have Munich twice in here? But that actually might not be too bad, because I am thinking of just tankering it through for the entire day, then we don't need to refuel in Prague. So, weather at our destination at the moment is CAV OK, and they do show prop 30 tempo from 1800 UTC onwards, so that is going to be within our arrival time, light rain. And then we have a temporary gust until 1800 at 24 knots, so that is really nothing too spectacular. For the alternates, Berlin is cover okay, Leipzig is light rain, few clouds at 500, so for IFR flying that is absolutely okay. So Munich then, which is our filed alternate as well, so operations wants us simply to return. In case we can't land at Prague, if we look over here, 8,000 meters in light rain, recent tempo 3000 showers of rain, CBs, but in the forecast there's nothing the likes in there, so all in all the weather in Munich is alright as well. So if we have a look at the flight plan up here, 1,600 kilograms is planned. Let's see, the trip fuel for the way back is 570 plus the alternate. So let's say if we make 2,500 out of this, then we should have sufficient fuel for our return flight as well. Does that work out with a landing weight? That is 900 kilos more. Yes, it does. Okay, perfect. So we'll take 2.5 tons of fuel. Well, in that case, we are pretty much finished back here in the cabin, so let's walk forward to our workstation, and let's get to do a little bit of work. And most importantly, if we don't want to disturb the cabin crew, they can have a little bit of time here as well in order to prepare the cabin before we are actually going to start the boarding. I somewhat still love the fact that the cargo hold is just up here and you're simply walking through the cargo hold. By the way, some bug that I reported a couple of days ago, look at that. Look at the hosing of that, whatever this is over here, and particularly up there when I'm opening the door. You can see that there's definitely a bug over there that they didn't fix yet. Okay. Anyway, they did fix a lot of other bugs, so we are sure to have a nice day flying. We might start loading up the plane, and, well, you know what, we're gonna do that a little bit later. Let's power it up first. So, power is on. And here is it. It's going then. External power on, and it is quite dark today, so let's turn on some lights. That's better. Okay, give the plane a moment to power up. By the way, did any one of you ever find out how to open the document door down here? Ah, I just did. Okay, must have been a bug previously then. Because I couldn't open this previously when I clicked on here, but nice to see. This, by the way, is the very creative solution from ATR in order to hand any documents to the pilots without the dispatcher or whoever has something to hand over having to walk through the entire cabin. You simply have that little hatch over here, and that's it. Keep in mind, you can't open the doors in the ATR, so for that reason they need something like this. Okay, that looks alright. Then let's go ahead with the system setup. We'll start by extinguishing any white lights, except for the fuel pumps and probe heats. So pretty much like this. And now we can start with the system tests. I'll start checking the annunciator lights, all of which are actually working over here. Then we can arm the emergency exit lights. Refueling, let's see, what do we have? We have pounds. No, I don't want pounds. I want kilograms. Thank you. And I want hectopascals. Why do they always reset this stuff? I don't get it. Anyway, we have 2,500 kilograms on board. That is what we've been looking for. And then let's quickly bring the procedure menu back up. Alright. Loads of messages there, which is expected. Alright, cool. Then we can test our fuel pumps. Pump on, pump running, thrust feed, fuel pressure in both sides, as we can see on here as well. Thrust feed closed, pump number 2, pump running, and both pumps off again. Core system is checked. Squib test, fire test. Lights, we need enough light, and it's... well, we don't need a logo light. Propeller brake can stay off for now. Everything off over here. Voltage checked on both sides. Flight recorder test. I don't know, that one never worked for me. Let's see again. Test, hold it for a couple seconds. Normally I suppose the needle should go up, but it doesn't really do it over here. Anyway, that is fine for me. Well then, refueling is complete, so the seatbelt signs and the no device signs can go on. Everything looking good over here. And by the way, in case you're wondering, we do not use the AC wild power, external power unit over here. That is basically only used by maintenance. And in the comments, Programming Boss has asked, chat, question, is the CRJ from Aerosoft worth the price? Well, at that point, I can just about point you to my review of the CRJ. And somebody else asked in relation to the CRJ as well if it's about the same level of system depth as the ATR. Well, it is a tiny bit below it, so the ATR is a tiny bit more complex than the CRJ. And Cesare 59, are the wipers working? Well, they are moving, but they aren't wiping anything. So if you look at this. Okay then, we continue on the air conditioning panel. Let's turn them to the middle, and it's rather cold in here, so we might start an engine in hotel mode anyway. But normally the temperatures really come up when the passengers start boarding, so I'll just wait a little bit, and when the passengers are aboard, then we can still see if we need air conditioning or not. Okay then, ATPCS test. Not always easy to find the best position here in order to see everything at the same time, but we'll make it work. That's fine. Normally you're supposed to check the trims, but I don't really like doing that. Internal lights, do we need them? Well, not really, if I'm honest. Still bright enough. Okay, gas block is in, parking brake set, and the condition levers should certainly be in the fuel shut-off position. My joystick was still setting correctly there. Okay, nav panel. By the way, some of you have been asking me if the screens are touch screens in the actual ATR, or if they are not. Well, they are not touch screens, but they implemented the function that you can click directly in here, for the simple fact that the controls are rather hard to reach, down here, and most importantly down here. In the real airplane, obviously not much of a problem, but in the simulation, yeah, kinda. So for that reason, they did it like this. But normally you would treat them like this, and you would click yourself through using these little menus down here until you have basically found what you've been looking for. So that is how you would normally do things in here. Okay, so with that said, let's go ahead and set up the FMS. And once again, I will bring SimToolkit Pro for you guys into view. Here it is. And let's see how that thing's gonna work out. So we've got an ATR 72, that is correct. Init page, position init. Last position and GPS position are not quite equal, but if we don't enter anything, it's going to align to the GPS position. So for that reason, we are not going to put anything in here. And flight plan, route, and we will enter it manually, flying from Munich towards Prague. Takes a little while. And we are going to be the Eurowings 9R527. Here we go. Okay, departure runways, I suppose 26 left will be our runway. Then looking into the route down here, Bebug 3 Sierra departure. No transition, execute that. And then from Bebug we proceed on November 871 towards Nenham. Thereafter Zulu 39 Dolop. Execute, back to the plan page. And after Dolop we go direct Prague for the Prague to Sierra arrival runway 24. In that case we don't even need to enter Prague, but we can simply do it like this. Prague to Sierra. And let's see what the last waypoint is. Ratev, and we have a transition from Ratev in here as well. Perfect. Secondary flight plan. We are simply going to copy the active. Confirmed, and back to the active flight plan. So if we go through this, we can get rid of the discontinuity, and that looks fine for me. Then data in it, performance in it, and we are going to cruise at flight level 190. Our alternate is going to be Munich, and the diversion flight level we have over here is going to be 240. Probably an attempt by operations to get us above the weather in case of a return. Even though I wouldn't be so surprised if at level 240 in such a big weather cell, or weather system rather, we would still be right within the clouds. Okay, and obviously we need to enter 24,000. That's better. Okay then, weights. Well, now we've got to set it up. So 18.2 is our target zero fuel weight. And if we look into the EFB payload, then 18.2 means we need, that's 13.3 towards 18.2. Is that 5.9? I think it is. Let's quickly load that in as well. Here we go, 5.9 tons. And click and hold, and it should load it up. 19.2. Okay, I took a ton too many. And we've just about got to change that again. Okay, 18.1, that is good enough for me. Fuel on board in as well, and for the reserves 825. Finally, performance, transition altitude for the departure is going to be 5,000, and the V1 will change to 103 because it is a wet runway. Okay, and that should pretty much be our FMC setup completed. So last thing that we can do is the autopilot panel, and then we can start with our departure briefing and with the checklists. Initial climb in Munich is flight level 70. I'm gonna find it for you in the charts in a moment. So that's 71 pre-selected up there. And apart from that, we can select our runway heading 260. Here we go, runway heading 260, and finally the altimeters, and I'm going to use the B key here in order to check if the airplane is going to level off correctly later. So it's 1014, that's 30 feet more. So with the old buck that the airplane used to have in the first version, that would mean that our plane would level off at 19,027 feet. So we'll have an eye on that, if it's going to fly the altitude accurately later on en route. Finally, speed target goes to automatic, and that is mostly it completed. So let's do a departure briefing. Threats for the departure, certainly a little bit of weather over here, so we are going to be careful with the anti-icing system, switch it on prematurely if required. Temperature is 12 degrees on the ground, so we don't need it for takeoff, but we'll probably need it soon thereafter. Okay. Then we can skip the route check. We have already checked our route. So what else remains then? Well, left sea takeoff, runway 26 left, I suppose. And flaps 5, noise abatement. Sorry, flaps 15. Too much on the 737. Noise abatement procedure number 2. And well, that's pretty much it, to be honest. Apart from that, we are going to do emergencies, standard. And for the taxi, I'm trying to get up some charts for you guys. Give me a second over here. I kinda hated that Navigraph continuously locks me out, so that I have to log back in again, and then I don't remember my password, and there you go. Okay, so we've got to do it without the charts for you. Anyway, the pushback is going to be with the nose to the right, then taxi first out, first exit over here, and then we can take the intersection pretty much straight ahead. For the departure, let's have a quick look. This is what it looks like. So straight ahead, Delta Mike 049, above 1900, left turn Delta Mike 050 with maximum speed of 210 knots. That's probably not going to be too much of a problem here. Then towards Ottersberg, Maybach max 250 knots, Biwak, and that's it already. Climbing flight level 70 and contact ATC when advised. Route is looking good as well, and I would say that's pretty much all we need. Okay, if there is no questions on the briefings, then we can start with the final cockpit preparation checklist. And yes, our systems are current, so let's go ahead. Park and brake. Engaged and pressure checked. Altimeters 1014. Set and checked. Landing elevation checked. FMS ComNav set. Fuel quantity and fuel on board. Well, we have 2510 and that is checked. Okay, engine fuel used, reset, memo panel, let's up here, check, power management, set, takeoff. Final cockpit preparation checklist complete. Okay, so that's pretty much the setup complete. And Levin, hello there, watching from the Philippines. Well, it's gonna be late for you. And David, I just saw your last video. The vertical revision page doesn't work when in plan mode. Okay, thank you, I didn't know that. So that's probably how I hung the FMC up as well then, and how I lost my route on that video. But, we'll get there. So, I would say then we request clearance from ATC. 121.725. They don't have an ATIS online yet. And by the way, when we're talking about the comp setup, we can put 1 to 1.5 active as well.
Titan 25, ready to copy?
Reverb, sir.
Titan 25, information November, cleared Gatwick Aerodrome.
Do let me know how well you can understand me and air traffic control and me on top of air traffic control, because I did get a couple comments under this morning's video that apparently ATC wasn't understandable very well, so do let me know, and then I can still adjust it as necessary.
Maintain flight level 70, squawk 2305.
And then 86, when you lost the route, I think you were in the secondary flight plan, and that's what Ubizon says as well. Okay, I could swear I wasn't, but if I was, then that will definitely explain it.
Titan 25.
And hello Martha, it's nice to see you here in the comments.
Titan 25.
München delivery, hello, Eurowings 9527, no ATIS, request clearance to Prague.
Eurowings 9527, service, yeah, ATIS is a little bit broken. You are cleared to Prague, Biwak 3 Sierra departure, runway 26 left, flight center route, climb Verset, flight level 70, squawk 1000.
Eurowings 9527, no problem on the ATIS, cleared to Prague, Biwak 3 Sierra departure 26 left, climb flight level 70, squawk 1000.
Eurowings 9527, repair correct, QNH 1014, report ready for startup.
QNH 1014, Wilco, Eurowings 9527. Bootwin, why does the Garmin have map displays and planes like the ATR 737 and A320 do not? That is a very good question, actually, and it can be explained by the fact that those map displays are handy for VFR navigation, but in IFR you absolutely don't need them. And for that very reason, those aircraft which are meant for pretty much exclusive IFR flying, they don't have any such maps. And Ubison, yes, we are on WhatsApp over here. Okay, so let's go ahead. Altitude 7000, cleared on the Biwak 3 Sierra departure, which we have... Why is my flight plan showing white now? This time I'm not on it. Now I'm on the secondary. Okay, clear temporary. Did we? What is it doing now? I think we killed it. Clear temporary. Cute. Did we kill it? Well, it's still working, but it shows me that we've got a modified flight plan right now. But it doesn't tell me is how I can get rid of that. Okay, well, let's try something. Well, technically we still need this, but what happens if we just about remove this, execute that? No. Okay, looks like we already killed it. If anybody has an idea how we can get that flight plan working again. And Jan, the alternate airport and altitude, you think? Okay. Where is that again? Data, init, Why did they... Why did my performance init reset? We did that.
Lufthansa 7 Charlie Lima is ready for pushback and startup. Lufthansa 7 Charlie Lima, startup approved for pushback, contact Airline 121.925.
How did they get cleared? Did anybody notice that?
121.975.
Because that is certainly not supposed to happen.
121.925. Sorry, 121.925.
Okay, let's give it a while to load that airport in. Here we go. Execute. Okay. And now it works again. Okay, we are just not going to question this. We are just not going to question this. In any case, they should be done with the boarding by now, so let's go ahead and close that stuff up. Park and brake is set, and let's get a pushback talk. So prepare for pushback and departure, please.
And delivery type 25 request engine start.
And if we are gonna push, then we will need an engine in HOTAS mode as well.
Start approved over to ground, apron 121.
Brake is on, and then let's go ahead and get our clearance. So, transponder to on. Doors closed, hatch is closed, and since we'll push, we need to turn off the nose wheel steering, otherwise we can damage the steering mechanism. And then let's get our startup clearance. Eurowings 9527, request startup.
Eurowings 9527, startup approval time 1735, I call you back.
Expect clearance at 35, Eurowings 9527. Okay, so they are imposing flow measures already. We gotta wait 5 minutes for our startup clearance.
EC2 Papa Golf 34 pushback.
What's the temperatures? 11.
2-5 Golf Papa, startup approved for pushback.
Well, we might start the engine in HOTAS mode already nonetheless. At least as soon as GSX is ready. And in the meantime, we can do those.
Eurowings 9527, startup approved for correction for pushback or taxi to Apron 121.925. Goodbye.
Eurowings 90527, startup approved, 121.925, confirm.
Affirm.
Danke, ciao.
Ciao.
Okay, 121.925, so ATC changed their mind, maybe somebody else missed their slot and we're catching it now. I don't know, but we'll take the opportunity while it lasts.
7551, 121.825.
Roger, 121.825.
Francis 4 Echo, Echo, Apron.
121.975 Lufthansa 4 Echo Echo.
Wunderbar.
München Apron, hello, Eurowings 90527, request pushback.
Eurowings 90527, Apron, Servos, push approved, face west, blue line.
Push approved, face west, blue line, Eurowings 90527. Okay, continue pushback, then facing west onto the blue line.
Release parking brakes.
Okay, stand by. So, beacon on, and then we can go ahead. Propeller brake is on, so let's start engine number 2 in the hotel mode. Auto number 2.
Hamburg Lloyd 7551, there's nobody responding on 121.825.
Stand by.
Delta 538 checking in, that's ground.
Okay, that's a good start on engine number 2. So, ground power is removed, park and brake is released.
Commencing push. All engines clear, start at will.
Hamburg Lloyd 7551.
Okay, Wilco. And in the meantime, before propeller rotation checklist. Cockpit door locking system on, FMS and takeoff data. Well, we can certainly confirm that. And trim the airplane. 1 unit up.
Delta 538 requested exit runway 26 left, holding short at
Set.
2
Okay, trims set, tail prop on board, doors closed, seatbelts on, beacon on before propeller rotation checklist complete. And then we can basically clear any of those. No active procedure, very good. Okay, we are beyond the red line, then let's go ahead and turn engine number 2. Propeller brake is off. And then condition lever up into auto, single channel shown and gone. Then we get the low pitch indication now. Here it is. And the engine is running up. Okay, that's a good start on engine number 2. We are starting engine number 1.
Set parking brakes.
In a second. Okay. Fuel on.
Into ground.
And then park brake set.
Good engines start. You can disconnect.
Temperature is 10 degrees now, so we'll turn on the anti-ice. Okay.
Lufthansa 7 Charlie Lima, request taxi.
Additional lever into auto. Single channel showing and going. Low pitch. Here it is.
Following the orange line, holding short, Echo 2, Lufthansa 7 Charlie Lima.
And the engine is stable. Okay.
Unlocking gear.
Anti-ice can go on.
Charlie München, Apron, Chris, got pushback approved.
Anti-skid test is working.
Pushback to
Flaps to 15. And they are still disconnecting over here.
Tow truck disconnected. I have been removed.
Ah yeah, interesting. Now I thought GSX was finally ready for the ATR. Certainly doesn't look like it. Okay, he's going. Nosewheel steering on. And then we can do the before taxi checklist. Flight warning system recalled, cockpit comm hatch. Closed, condition lever 1 and 2, auto, anti-icing. On. TRU, on and checked, anti-skid test performed, flaps 15, nose wheel steering,
On to Whiskey 2.
On.
Facing south.
V4 taxi checklist complete.
From the 4 Charlie, make a short pushback. Company 2 stands to your left is pushing as well.
Okay, you just about called somebody, but if there is no answer...
4 Charlie, please make a short pushback. Company to your left is pushing as well.
Eurowings 90527, request taxi.
Eurowings 90527, follow the blue line, hold short of Echo 2 for now.
Follow the blue line and hold short Echo 2, Eurowings 90527. So we go straight ahead and hold short of that one.
Continue to enter Sierra 7 via Delta 3 Orange.
Next light on, break off,
Sierra 7 by Delta 3 Orange
and we can use some wipers as well, I think.
April, good evening, this is 5 Golf, stand 212.
Okay, let's go.
From the 4 Charlie apron. From the 4 Charlie, my request is that you make a short pushback. Come to a stop right now because the company behind you is pushing as well. Stopped already, pushback.
So, we should have the whole short line somewhere over here next to the checkpoint, so we'll just about taxi forward to the checkpoint.
25 Papa Golf, apron hello.
Stand 212, ready for pushback.
25 Papa Golf, pushback.
In the meantime, taxi checklist.
Here's more, thank you, Papa Golf.
So, taxi and takeoff flights.
Wings 90527,
On.
continue to enter Sierra 7 via the blue line, Whiskey 2, your number 2 at Lufthansa A321 on your right.
Eurowings 90527, taxi Sierra 7 via the blue line and Whiskey 2, number 2 behind the Lufthansa. Confirm that's the one just about turning in front of us? Roger. Because there is a second Lufthansa over here. I just want to be absolutely sure.
11825, 7 Charlie Lima, ciao.
90527, same to you, 11825 when reaching 0.
11825, Eurowings 9527, ciao. Okay, 11825. And he said when reaching, so we'll just about stay in his frequency until we are turning onto the entry over there, and then we'll change it. Okay, continue the taxi checks, brakes checked. Then we've got flight guidance panel FMA set checked, and holding at the takeoff config test. That's looking interesting what this guy's doing over there.
I make a right, 180, then swing over to...
Hey, that's Whiskey 2 coming up over here.
Was it November 2? Lufthansa for Charlie?
For Charlie negative, center 2, and then entry November 4.
Okay. Und hallo, Eurowings 90527, entry Sierra 7.
90527, advise able to depart from Bravo 1 2.
Able Bravo 1 2, Eurowings 90527.
90527, Roger, taxi holding point 26 left via Bravo 1 2 west, Bravo 1 2.
Eurowings 90527, taxi holding point 26 left, Bravo 1 2 west, and Bravo 1 2. Okay, 1 2 west is over here, and then the entry is, the intersection is just in front of us. Cool. Then let's go ahead with the takeoff briefing. This is going to be a left seat takeoff on runway 26 left, flaps 15, noise abatement procedure number 2. Takeoff speeds are going to be wet, and they are 103, 108, and 111. And for the departure, we have a BBUG 3 Sierra departure, straight at 1.5 miles, Delta Mike Sierra. Is that call for us? He will say it again.
Eurowings 90527, contact Bridge Tower 120.5, call 17.
120.5, Eurowings 90527, ciao!
Yeah.
Okay, that was for us. 120. Okay, let's quickly finish up the briefing. So the set straight at, left turn, climbing flight level 70. For emergencies, we can go straight at and climbing 5,000 feet. Any questions? No? Very good. Then we are pretty much ready.
And Lufthansa 7 Charlie Lima, revised QNH is 1015.
Okay, 1015.
H1015, Lufthansa 7 Charlie, thank you.
München Tower, hello, Eurowings 90527 ready.
Wings 90527, München Tower, Servus. Reverse QNH, QNH is 1015, and expect a shot delay.
QNH 1015, roger, Eurowings 90527. Okay, I guess the delay is going to be due to the departing traffic, then we can simply hold short.
Romeo Sierra,
at the line.
join downwind on runway 26 left.
Here we are.
Joining downwind,
Okay.
runway 2.
Takeoff light off. Then gas block off. Controls are checked. Then let's do the takeoff config test. No warning. Okay, takeoff config test performed. Procedure complete. Then we can do the first half of the before takeoff checklist already. Which is takeoff briefing performed, gas block off, flight controls checked, transponder and TCAS checked, boost function off, airflow normal, then holding down.
Oscar Romeo Sierra, do right hand circles, up beam, threshold, runway 26 left.
Doing right hand circles, Oscar Romeo Sierra.
Okay, there's the Lufthansa Airbus
Wings
going.
90527, line up runway 26 left and wait.
Or Wings 90527, line up runway 26 left and wait. Okay, so we've just been waiting for him. Very good. And transponder on. Cabin crew, please take your seats for departure. And before takeoff checklist below the line. Cabin crew advised, engine bleeds on, external lights on. And then we are just about holding at the lateral flight director bar. Now somebody tell me why there is a runway light over here.
Wings 90527, wind is 270 degrees 8 knots, runway 26 left, clear for takeoff.
Runway 26 left, clear for takeoff, or Wings 905. Okay, very quick look at the weather radar before we go.
Join, crosswind for runway 26 left.
And then lateral flight director bar is centered, rudder cam centered before takeoff checklist complete.
Crosswind runway 26.
Okay, no weather radar indications, off we go. Timing.
Lufthansa 7 Charlie Lima,
Takeoff light on.
radar on 123.9, that's the question.
And then set thrust.
München 127.950, Lufthansa 7 Charlie Lima, danke, ciao.
Power set. 80 knots. Okay, I'm not touching the yoke right now. Let's see if it is going to rotate by itself or not. D1.
Oscar Romeo Sierra, traffic information, Eurowings, ATR 76, about depart runway 26 left.
Positive rate. Gear up.
Traffic inside, Oscar Romeo Sierra.
He's saying traffic inside and we see pretty much nothing.
Clear to land, runway 26 left, Oscar Romeo
Go
Sierra.
damper on. Taxi takeoff light off.
Lufthansa 2 Golf Yankee traffic and Cessna 152.
Okay. Autopilot on.
Runway 26 left, report traffic inside.
Acceleration altitude. Climb power. We don't need those wipers anymore. The way around helps. Okay, here's a little bit of why is it? Oh, come on. Don't overdo it, aircraft. Don't overdo it. So it's sensing icing conditions. That's why I'm just about delaying the flap retraction a little bit. But here we are through the marker, so flap 0.
Eurowings 90527, contact München radar on 127.950, servus.
127.950, Eurowings 90527, bye. Oh, 127.905. München Radar, schönen guten Abend, Eurowings 90527, 3300, climbing 70, debug 3 Sierra. Climb Basset, flight level 190, Eurowings 90527.
Descent 6000 QNH 1015,
That's set, 190 checked. After takeoff checklist, landing gear, up, flaps 0, power management NP, climb and check, Engine bleed on, taxi and takeoff light off, and holding down at the line.
The 78, contact director 132.
Does anybody know of a way to dim the weather radar indication only? Like not the entire display, but only the weather radar? Because I find it pretty much impossible to read anything down here on the remainder of the display. Well, there is any weather overlay over there. So if anybody's got an idea over there, that would be much appreciated. And then we have the transition altitude, set standard. Standard 3 times, passing 5-1. Now, altimeter set and checked, after takeoff checklist complete. Okay, and with that we are on the way. And G Walker, just turn it off, it's annoying, it's not like it matters in the sim. Yeah, that's what I thought of as well. And honestly, that's actually what I'm gonna do. Off. Wings 9527, proceed direct Maybach. Okay, direct to Maybach. Execute. Enough available? Enough. Okay, 6 degrees, so still in icing conditions, but it hasn't actually detected any real icing yet. Okay, then we don't need the chrono any longer, and we can switch to the elapsed time. Something that I hope that Hans is really going to fix soon is that the airplane tries to re-intercept the direct course from the point where we executed the direct to the waypoint, instead of taking a turn and then directly flying to the waypoint. So if the air traffic controller looks at the display now, it looks like we're going to an artificial point 30 degrees to the left of Maybach, and that is definitely wrong. We shouldn't be doing that. So that's something that I really hope Hans is going to fix with a future update. In the meantime, however, let's see if we can get any reports from any other aircraft where the top of the clouds are. Because that is where the ride is going to become a lot smoother for us. Wings 9527 request. 9527, do you have any other aircraft at higher altitude whom you could ask where they got out of the clouds?
At the moment, just the contour behind it, that is on the
Negative, we went to Maybach. Confirm direct debug, Wings 9527.
Yeah, I just needed you a bit higher to get you landing. So proceed now to Prague, and you're a little bit north of track.
Yeah, we're going to debug now. That's the lovely Microsoft Flight Simulator, always trying to re-intercept the turn where you executed the direct. See, this is what the controller meant, like, we are overshooting a bit, and then we're re-intercepting. And we just received a private message here from another pilot, top of clouds at 17,000. Controller doesn't really seem to bother anyway. Anyway, if the tops are at 17,000, then we'll stick with our plan to climb to flight level 190. I kinda hope that if the cloud tops were around level 100 or so... Top climb flight level 120 or Wings 9527. That 120 checked. So I kinda hope that we might be leaving the clouds a bit earlier, because that would avoid prolonged exposure to icing conditions, and ultimately we could have flown a little bit faster as well. Okay, passing 100. We'll return the no device sign off, but we'll definitely keep the the seatbelt signs turned on. Okay, master caution, icing. Okay, De-icing on. We'll probably keep that on all the way until we're... We'll probably keep that on all the way until we're out of the clouds up here. UB's on. Does the icing inspector on the captain's side work? Well, not really, it seems. Wings 9527, roger. Okay, so we're definitely going to level off over here. The plane is only doing just about 1,000 feet a minute anyway, so I won't bother reducing the rate. Okay, so yeah, the icing detector, that's the one over here, but as you can see, there is no icing or anything building over there. And in fact, I'm a bit skeptical if the airplane is building visual icing anyway, because even when I'm looking at the wing, you know, they don't really seem to catch any ice either. Okay, I'll start. I'll let the plane accelerate over here. That means we can climb a bit faster afterwards. And cloud action. Click on the minus to the left of the C. That might help. Okay, let's give that a try. It doesn't seem to do anything. See if there's a difference over here. No, that does absolutely nothing. Changing the contrast doesn't seem to help. Let's switch that off. Wings 9527, climb unrestricted level 19. Set 190 checked. Okay, yes, hold, and now we can trade all the airspeed we just gained for altitude. Okay, at the T-cars there's traffic behind, that's not going to be a factor. As you can see, he's out of the way, the other guy is climbing as well, so not much of a problem there. Look at that impressive rate of climb of 1,700 feet a minute here. That is, wow. Impressive, absolutely impressive. And Eric is asking, hi Emmanuel, are you now a Lauda pilot? No. Metal Eye, thank you so much for the $23.99 donation. A few coffees to strengthen your A330 rating and being an awesome person. Thank you so much, Metal Eye, thank you so much. G Walker, don't ask for shortcut, it will bug the FMC. I'm 29.1, Eurowings 9527. Tschüss. Hey, 129.1. München Radar, hallo, Eurowings 9527, level 141, climbing 190 in on Biwak.
Eurowings 9527, München, Servus side the empty side, proceed direct Dolup.
Direct Dolup, Eurowings 9527. So, G-Walker, let's see now. Direct to Dolup.
Thunder 4, Charlie, proceed direct Agnes.
Direct Ogno.
Looks good. Execute.
Eurowings 9527, confirm 190 requested.
Eurowings 9527, affirm. The weather is looking impressive here, isn't it?
Radar, good evening, Tag 25,
This is really the kind of situation that I like the most, when you're flying between two different layers, and you have one above and one below you. That's always what really looks the most amazing. Okay, and looking up there, we might just about make it on top at cruise level. We'll see. We'll give it a try, but let's see. And G-Walker, so far, no problem. But yesterday I took a couple directs as well, and it seems to have worked, so I'm not 100% sure what causes the FMC to act up. Certainly something, but what exactly that is, I don't really know, so yeah, I guess we'll just have to stick with it and see. But for now, it mostly seems to work. The thing that I had the most problems with, at least in the past version, I haven't tried in this one yet, is the secondary flight plan. Now, I'm a little bit worried if I really want to give that another try, at least on the live stream, because I am rather certain it is going to freeze things up. But maybe we do it after the last sector, maybe we just try to plan another and then try to program ourselves a little bit with a secondary flight plan and see how that is going to work out. So, what's the conditions now? Outside -13 and true -7. Yeah, that is kind of still in the icing range, so I'll just about keep the de-icing devices turned on over here. Can we see anything of them working? Oh, we can see ice. Look at that. So I've got to reverse my earlier statement. There is ice visible on the airplane. Let's see that from the outside. Yeah, a tiny bit on the nose, tiny bit on the wings. Nothing on the tail for now, that is most important in the ATRs. But if we're on it already, why don't we just about have another quick look over here. So we've got airframe, we've got engine, got the rudder and ailerons. Okay, there is no separate button for the tail de-icing, so we'll keep it like this. Just keep it going like this. It's interesting, however, that the ice is still there on the wings, because with the de-icing boots down there, the moment the boots inflate, the ice should definitely break off. So, if that ice is still there in about a minute's time or so, then I think we can rather certainly say we've got a bug. Oh, and we're finally getting out of the clouds. That's looking awesome, isn't it? I mean, we'll be right in them again, but for now, look at that rate of climb, especially with the ice on the plane. Just 600 feet a minute there. Let's see that from the outside real quick. Yeah, still got the ice on there. Let's see, can we reset the de-icing system somehow to force another cycle?
Requesting fold at Dola.
Doesn't really look like it.
Sorry, I still didn't get it. What is your request at Dola?
Okay, well,
5 through 8 requesting.
We'll keep it on.
Delta 538, contact Prague, 118.375.
Let's see now. Yeah, the ice is still on there, that shouldn't happen. Like, the de-icing boots will be cycling ever so often. I don't know the exact sequence in the ATR, but the moment the de-icing boots are blowing up, or rather are pumping themselves up, I seriously hope they don't blow up. By the way, this answers the comment on the ice probe as well, so we can see ice building up on here. That's very nice. Even though I would kind of have liked for a little, well, let's say, for a little higher definition texture than this on the probe. I mean, they're probably just using the standard MSFS ice texture on here, but I would say for the probe, a little higher resolution custom texture would have been really nice. On the wings, we still got the ice on. That's certainly not supposed to be. Like, you can even see how the boots are blowing up here. Can you see that? So that should immediately break off any ice that might be on there. In a turboprop airplane like the ATR, the de-icing boots don't quite work like the de-icing system in the 737, for example, where it just blows hot air onto the leading edges in order to melt the ice. But rather on a plane like this, the boots on the leading edges of the wing, they simply pump themselves up, thereby they change their structure, and that immediately breaks off any ice. So that ice on the wings there should definitely be breaking away.
I am at flight level 290 now.
Sir, what is your requested flight level for the flights?
And UB's on, yeah, as you say, icing representation is not the greatest in MSFS. And pouring water. Hi Manuel, if you're planning flying the next leg, can I recommend flying to Bratislava and request the circling approach? Well, my plan was to go back to Munich, because I know that we will have air traffic control online over there. So, apologies for that, but I'll put Bratislava on the list for a future flight. That's promised. And DCA Petza, did the throttles bump out of the notch? I see the arm light on the panel has gone out. No, they're definitely still in the notch.
098, Roger, climb flight level 340 for now.
But no idea if that is how it's meant to work or not. Okay, next thing there, let's see how the plane is gonna level off. We're looking for an exact flight level 190, not 27 feet higher or lower. Okay, alt mode has captured. Still doing 100 feet a minute or so. Very, very slow to achieve the altitude, but we are getting there. That looks like an exact level off. Well done, Hans. Well done. And we just about got on top of the clouds as well. Very nice. But this is still a little bit too close for comfort, so I'll leave the seatbelt sign on. What's the icing doing? Still on there. That definitely shouldn't be the case.
Charlie, climb flight level 260. And
is it me or is it getting less? I think it's slowly getting less. It might just be wishful thinking on my side. In any case, that's not how icing would behave on de-icing boots, but anyway, it is nice to see that they at least slapped an icing texture on there. Okay, so we have made it all the way up. The airplane is accelerating. We're already at quite a decent speed, 260 knots true airspeed. It's gonna get a little bit higher. In the meantime, procedure-wise, there's nothing to do, so we can check our system displays real quick here, making sure that everything is normal with our systems. Most importantly over here, the cabin pressurization system, which is looking good. Okay. And we're skimming the cloud tops over here, that I don't really want to go higher, so I guess we'll just about have to accept it.
Climb flight level 360.
Climb flight level 360, scanner 298.
And Photochromax, why not flying to Zurich? Just kidding. Well, if you are kidding, then I am allowed to be kidding as well. And I would say, because this airplane cannot hold enough fuel in order to stand the holding over there. And Ubizon, cruise mode set. Not yet, we're waiting until it has accelerated. But looks like we are just about getting there, so we might as well set the cruise mode as well at this point.
13415, scanner 298 today.
So, let's see if the Microsoft Flight Simulator weather engine is any good. We've basically departed right in the middle of that weather system, and the system is moving along our direction of flight. So we are basically flying from right inside the front to the front and out of it. So I'm wondering what that's gonna look like in Microsoft Flight Simulator.
Easy,
It's kind of interesting to look at it from this altitude here as
easy
well.
25 Papa Golf, correct Langen on 125 definitely.
So, the ice is slowly becoming less, but we'll keep the anti-icing system, or the de-icing systems rather, running for now. For the time we still have some ice on our airframe. The simulator is just looking gorgeous,
957,
isn't
correct
it?
Prague on 118 decimal 375.
118 decimal 375, or the wings 9527. Good. 1837. Good evening, Eurowings 9527, flight level 190 in Mount Dolo.
Eurowings 9527, good evening, Prague radar identified, cleared Prague to Sierra arrival.
Prague to Sierra arrival, Eurowings 9527. Okay, let's check the FMC. Prague to Sierra, perfect. Also, proper descent, 61 miles, 17 minutes. That math over here was wrong initially. Let's see if that makes sense now. Doing 280 knots, that is roughly a little bit less than 5 miles a minute. So we've got 60 miles to run, divided by 5, plus a little bit. 60 divided by 5 is, well, 12 minutes plus a little bit, so the 17 minutes might be a little bit incorrect still. Yeah, at least if I'm figuring that out roughly by head, then those 17 minutes are still not correct. Should be more like 15. Well, anyway.
Then
let's quickly have a look at the route that we have in here now. Oh, that looks quite alright. We've got to remember, after here we need to fly straight ahead. I took that out on the ground in an attempt to fix that temporary flight plan. So we gotta keep that in mind. Apart from that, the routing looks good. Let's quickly check the weather radar as well, if there is anything in front of us. Oh, weather on. Let's turn it down a little bit. That stuff basically does nothing at the moment. All we get is a top-down view, which is why that's pretty much useless. But still we at least get an idea of what is out in front. But in the absence of a well-working weather radar over here, we might just as well switch that off again and use the best weather radar at all. One that is 100% realistic. The window. And as we can see, it's pretty much clear. Nonetheless, we're going to keep the seatbelt signs on, but we can certainly switch the de-icing systems off now. And if there is anything left on the wings by now, yeah, that tiny bit should have been blown off, but I guess they just don't support de-icing later. But that's fair enough. We can absolutely deal with that.
Nat
1645, I feel pretty bad luck with the ATR, especially when moving around and going to a view that has propeller spinning. Yeah, there is a setting for that in the EFB. Oh no, there isn't. Sorry, I've been confusing the ATR with the Transal. No, the single most performance consumer that I found is the terrain display. If you put that on, your FPS immediately go down. That's the reason why I'm not using the terrain display in this airplane. Okay, so that's pretty much that part done. I'll quickly start a little bit of a setup here already, because I have a feeling that once things start happening, it will be everything happening at the same time again. So Prague to Sierra is planned, runway 24 is probably what's going to be in use.
Eurowings 90527, descend to flight level 140.
Eurowings 90527, any chance we can stay up high due to clouds and possible icing conditions below?
Stand by. Continue 190, I will call you.
Maintain 190, Eurowings 9527. You know, the ATR is very prone to icing, so for that reason I'm a little bit concerned with descending so early, because there will be icing in those clouds again. And I have a feeling if we start the descent now, then we might be picking up all that ice again, and I want to avoid that if by any means possible. Now, if the controller says that he needs us down, then we can do it, but it would really be favorable not to.
Range 5, correction 9527, confirm you want to stay at flight level 190 for a while?
Wings 9527, affirm, in the best case until like 10 miles before Prague.
Roger, expected that.
Expect, Wings 9527, thank you very much. Okay, very nice. That should definitely help us. So, I really don't want to go into this. This is just going to be turbulent and, yeah. If it can avoid that, the weather looks a lot better behind that. If you look over here, then it seems like we only need to dive through that little layer over there, and then we'll be out of it again. So, that would certainly make our life easier. Okay, in the meantime, let's see if we can get an ATAS.
To Pascal. No Sig 4 start out.
72 Delta, Mach point 79 or greater.
20.050.
Mach point 79 or greater, Austrian 72 Delta.
Good evening, Route 9 at its information line ILS 1730 approach. Runway and use 24. Transition level 70 meter Praha issued at 1730. Wind 310 degrees 4 knots, variable between 280 and 340 degrees. Visibility, tab OK. Temperature 152.10 QNH 1013 hectopascals. No Sig 4 startup and ADC clearance contact Route 9 delivery 120.050. You have received that as information Lima.
Okay, so that's the ATAS. Weather is looking good. Then we can quickly finish up with the rest of our setup. That's the ATAS set. We got runway 24 in use. So that's going to be transition altitude of 5,000 for the box. And that's pretty much all we need here. Then we can do the courses 240. Before we do that, we better set up the ILS frequencies. So 109.1. Interactive. 109.1 enter and active. And tune Prague VOR as a backup, but we don't really need it.
Stand by.
12.6. Okay then.
Runway 709 Foxtrot, you should be still with Mission.
Mission, kick me off the...
So, 240 on the courses. Yeah, that's 240 set. And then it should go back to Elnaf in a moment, or rather it should disarm localizer, but if it doesn't, we'll just press the button again.
601, contact Mission, radar 129.1 by.
Okay, that should be pretty much our setup completed. Well, we can get an NDB as well. So ADF, we've got 372. Enter active, and on the other side as well, 37. And then we can display the ADF as well. And that's about it. Minimum's going to be 1360.
Prague 709 at Fox, request descent.
Okay, 1360 and 1360.
Good evening.
Cool. So that's pretty much our setup complete. Now let's do a quick approach briefing. We're flying the Prague to Sierra arrival, which is going to take us from Prague towards Papa Romeo 521, and then we'll make a right-hand turn 574 and Ratev, and that is what we have in here. Then we join the ILS approach runway 24, starting from Ratev. We have Papa Romeo 530, Papa Romeo 532, which is the intermediate fix, and they're all about 4,000. And then towards the final approach fix, which is at 90 Fox Fox, at an altitude of 4,000 feet with a 3-degree descent path, which we have in here, down towards a minimum of 1360, which we've set left and right. And for the missed approach, climb at 240 degrees to 4,000, radar vectoring will be provided. So we've got 240 in here, and that's a manual lag at 4,000 feet, so that is pretty much what we're expecting. Okay, for the landing itself, we're going to vacate the runway to the left-hand side on intersection Charlie, and then we'll get 127.575, Eurowings 90527, bye. Okay, 127.575, he said. Radar, good evening, Eurowings 90527, flight level 190, inbound Prague, information Lima.
Eurowings 90527, good evening, Prague radar, identified, descent to flight level 130.
Descent flight level 130, Eurowings 90527.
Eurowings 90527, descent to 50.
Eurowings 9527, unable, the maximum is 245.
Roger, so in this case, maintain 245.
245, Eurowings 9527.
Prague radar, good evening.
Okay, vertical speed.
Flight level 160, request descent.
Let's see if we can already achieve that speed with 1,000 feet a minute. Okay, and we are finally in a region where it should not be too bumpy anymore. So we'll just flick the seatbelts off for a couple minutes in case anybody wants to go to the toilet. So, what some people told me, what they perceived as a bug, was if you selected a lower altitude, the top of descent would wander backwards. That is not a bug, that is actually a feature. If you are further than a certain distance from your top of descent, I don't know what the exact distance would be, but if you're further than a certain distance from the top of descent, and you select the lower altitude, it updates the cruising level in the FMC, and that in turn is going to update the top of descent, of course. Left heading 310, always 90527. What on earth? 90 degrees left. Why? Just why? Why can't they provide vertical separation? Like, I can see the aircraft behind there, but on VATSIM you always get those absolutely insane, stupid vectors. And then I'm looking at this, and I'm like, but the guy's below me. Why doesn't he give him a rate of descent, me a rate of descent, and then we are clear of one another? Instead we're doing this utterly stupid 90-degree turns. That's... no air traffic controller would ever do that. Stuff like this annoys me. It's not only totally unrealistic, it's just stupid. There would be so much easier solutions.
Delta 538, turn left heading 030.
Oh, Jeff is asking, how's the update behaving for you? Well, so far, as you can see, it's doing really well.
Turn right heading 030.
Right, 030, Eurowings 90527. And another 90-degree turn. I mean, at least this one is taking us more or less back to the route, even though I find that just not necessary. Just not necessary. Does TK set to below?
761, speed 50. Reduce speed to 250.
Look at this. The guy is... he wasn't even close us. He wasn't even close to us. And now he's climbing somebody into us.
119.0 squawk call sign ahead.
Well, we are certainly going to keep an eye on that. Okay, speed hold.
Descending 90 Lufthansa 6 November.
245, that's fine. Okay. Oh, are we going through this or are we going above this? Yeah, we're going through it. And yes. And that might get a little bit bumpy as well, so let's pick the seatbelts back on. Anybody who wanted to go to the toilet had plenty of time to do so.
220 Lufthansa 6 November.
And Photochromax isn't 30-degree offset for a bit longer, just better. Yeah, absolutely. But the best thing would be just to give both aircraft an assigned rate of descent. You know, tell one aircraft to descend at 1,000 feet a minute, the other one to descend at 1,500 feet a minute, and then they are separated from one another. Okay, I want to go. Okay. So, let's do the descent checklist. Flight warning system. Takeoff. Wings 9527, speed 210 knots, descent flight level 90. Okay, set. 90 checked. Then let's go vertical speed 500. Indicated speed 190. Sorry, 210. Like this. Bit less thrust. What's important here when you are changing your airspeed is that
right heading 060 and contact Berlin radar 119.0 report heading.
Right heading 060 and contact 119.0 with the heading 5.
Thank you for flying. Bye bye.
Bye. Okay, 119.0.
Takže už jsem mám odpověděl, už mám na to kašlat.
Neumíte to, tak se to nauč a pak se vrát, jo, takže teďka se letěl jde. Nauč se ALS, potom se můžeš vrátit, teďka je to blbý, je tady toho hodně.
Dobre, tak ja, dobre, disconnect, speedboard to it for disconnecting. Ďakujem pekne za vašu trpezlivosť, dovidenia.
Delta 5 straight and left heading 330.
Left heading 330.
Then your radar, Eurowings 9527, heading 060.
Only call sign, only need your call sign, and I think you have it from approach. Eurowings 9572, hello, descent flight level 80.
Descending flight level 80, and approach specifically instructed me to mention my heading as well, so thank you very much for pointing out Eurowings 9527. What on earth? Did you hear that complaint? Like, approach tells me specifically to mention my heading, and then he complains that I do it. What on earth is wrong with these guys?
Delta 5 straight and left heading 270, clear Thales approach runway 24 and maintain 180 until 4 miles, then 160 to now turn left heading 270, clear Thales runway 24, descent 4000.
Okay, passing 100. Lights on, no device sign on.
Lufthansa 6 to
And
November.
then we still got the descent
descent
checklist to read. So, flight warning system recalled, landing elevation checked, FMS, nav and performance set and checked, DHMDA set and checked, and flight level 70, Eurowings 9527.
Delta 538, maintain speed 180,
checked,
final approach peak
and arrival briefing performed, descent checklist complete. Why that thing is showing again, I don't know.
180.
Okay.
180 to final fix, then 160 to 4 miles.
Okay, so that's pre-selected. There's traffic up there, so we probably can reduce our rate of descent as we'll be going behind them.
Lufthansa 6 to November, turn left heading 330.
Left 330, Lufthansa 6 November.
Lufthansa 6 to November, speed 2.
So why is the plane not reacting to my speed input?
200 is the speed.
Lovely, and now it's leveling off. That was stupid.
Lufthansa 6 to November, descent altitude 4,000 feet.
Descending 4,000, Lufthansa 6 November.
And 6 to November, KNH 1013, brake, Eurowings Miner 527, descent altitude 5,000 feet, KNH 1013.
Eurowings Miner 527, descent 5,000, QNH 1013.
Delta 538, contact tower 134.
5,000 checked, vertical speed. Let's do 500 feet a minute, that should be more than sufficient. Set altimeter 1013.
Able to fly ILS.
Set passing 69, descending 5,000, no flags, stand by set.
Approach runway 24.
Then we can do the approach checklist.
Say again, Lufthansa 6 November.
Fly heading now
on, landing lights,
runway 24.
on, altimeters 1013 set and checked, cabin altitude.
Delta 538, are you able to continue approach?
Checked, approach checklist complete. Okay, and that icing AOA is definitely no longer needed, we'll click that away. Oh, we can't. Okay. Then we'll not click it away. But what we can click away is the anti-icing. We do not need that. Like this you can look through. We don't need anti-icing.
November 709 Foxtrot, thank you.
Eurowings Niner 527, turn left heading 270, clear, tell us approach runway 24, descent 4000.
Eurowings Niner 527, left heading 270, cleared ILS 24, descent 4000.
Grüne weiter, Ahoy, Ewing 6103,
okay,
level
heading
118.
270, descent 4000 feet.
Call sign only, Eurowings 6103, hello, radar identified.
Sorry, I was about to call you call sign only, but I was too distracted with your call sign.
I need only short messages.
For your information, your approach controller is instructing aircraft to contact you with the radar heading.
To station, hello, radar identified.
And the next guy whom he's getting angry at, that is...
75 level 70, Shamrock 261.
That is definitely not what you should be doing.
Radio Ryanair 4709 Foxtrot, I'm with you.
Okay, so the heading on the other end side looks pretty good, taking us directly to the 10-mile final. Let's put that in the FMC as well. Direct center fix, here we go. Ending up just below the glide slope, that is good as well. So overall, I would say we are looking pretty good over here.
Shamrock 261 now use
I wonder what that guy is doing earlier, because he will certainly not fit between him and me. That's exactly 5 miles as it should be,
but
this guy here...
9,000 feet.
Yeah, but you shouldn't turn, now turn left heading 030, after RF you should continue heading. Turn left heading 030 immediately.
Left 030, Shamrock 261.
Okay, so that guy doesn't know how to fly a star, that's the reason why he's in that position. Wonder if he keeps descending. No, he doesn't. Okay, very good. Then approach is armed, localizer capture,
okay,
and glide slope capture.
Continue right, turn heading 150. Right
So,
turn heading
4000 is
150.
set for the missed approach.
Flight 150,
Correction, right turn heading 330.
right turning 330.
Eurowing 6103, descend flight level 80.
Level 8, 0603.
Eurowings 90527, speed 180, speed 160 until 4 miles.
160 until 4 miles, Eurowings 9527. Hey, 160. He's lucky that we're flying an ATR. In a 737 this would have been hopeless.
Eurowing 6103, turn right heading 060.
But of course I will put that down as controller skill. That he knows what he's
Eurowings
handling.
9527, contact tower 134.550, hello.
134.550, Eurowings 95. Oh, hello, Eurowings 9527, reducing 160 knots until 40 me.
Eurowings 9527, hello, number 2.
Continue. Okay. So, 160 knots, let's go flap 15. Speed reduction is very nice now. Indeed, you can really see the, you can really see and feel that raw braking that those turboprop aircrafts can really produce. Very easy to maintain the speed as well.
120.
Eurowings 9527, reduce final approach speed, that's going to be 100 knots. Okay, if he says so, you're down. Let's see how close the guy behind is. Okay, there is space behind us, that is good. So, automatic speed control. Flaps 30, landing checklist. Cabin crew advised, landing gear, 3 greens, flaps 30, power management, takeoff, TRU low speed checked, icing AOA light, so on. Reset, external lights, well, I'll click it on, we still have the taxi and takeoff light to go. Three miles out at 100 knots. That would not have been necessary. But if that's what he wants us to fly, then we'll... Runway 24, clear to land, over wings 95. Okay, taxi and takeoff light is on. So the previous guy has already vacated, and now we are flying here. 3 miles out. I don't know why he wanted us to reduce speed. It didn't make any sense. I'll keep the autopilot on for a little bit. Let's see how it is going to perform. As far as I remember, that is also an area of the aircraft where they put a little bit of work into. Look at that, I trust the autopilot enough that I'm changing to the outside view on short fire now.
500.
Also, the GPWS light no longer comes on at the low level. That's also a new feature. Well, a bug fix.
500.
The duplicate 500 call, however, is definitely not a feature.
Approaching minimum.
Check.
$200. Minimum.
Continue.
Minimum.
Autopilot off.
100. 50. 40. 30. 20. 10.
Okay, we're down. Oh, a little bit of reverse. Which didn't want to come on. Here we go. But now we can do it with the wheel brakes as well. Oh, 65 knots. That is pretty much the highest speed you can take on a high-speed turnoff. 121.9 wings 957. Okay, well clear the runway. Niner. And before I call him, since there is a bit of space behind us, let's quickly go ahead and clean up the airplane. Ground hello, Eurowings 90527, convey vacated.
Eurowings 90527, losing ground, good evening, taxi via Lima, Golf 1061.
Lima, Golf, stand 61, Eurowings 9527. Okay, Lima is pretty much what we're on. Then Golf is a second to the left, and 61 is going to be the second to the left at the end.
8 Mike, contact Rusinia Tower, 134.55, have a nice flight, cheers.
Okay, easy going. So, after landing checklist. Radar, standby, flight controls, locked, flaps, 0,
Lufthansa 6,
trims.
parking position, thank you for your service. Thank you for your flight, next time, goodbye.
Trims reset, landing and strobe lights. Are off, anti and de-icing. Off, probe heat, off, TRU. Off after landing checks complete. Okay, this is the first. We don't want to take this. I guess we're parking next to the Ryanair over there. We're clear on the left. This is Golf. And why is that Ryanair standing on the middle of the taxiway?
Eurowings 9527, you may also use stand 63. Taxiway Golf is partly blocked with the traffic on stand 56.
And number 63, Eurowings 9527. Okay, that's gonna be next to the left. And we can shut down engine number 1. 63 is over here. Engine 1 cut off. Okay, a little bit further over here. Cancel the caution. And here we are. Okay. Brake set. Number 1. Number 2. Feather. Let's give it a little time to shut down. Looks good.
Lufthansa 2612, I believe we're at stand 17, request pushback.
Okay, propeller brake on.
Lufthansa 26,
propeller is stopped.
ground, good evening, pushback approved.
Pushback is approved, Lufthansa 2612.
Okay. Then let's leave the ATC frequency. Oh, this is what I'm looking Okay, and the parking checklist, please. Park and brake, engaged, taxi and takeoff lights, off, transition lever 2, feather, beacon, off, transponder, standby, tail prop. Well, let's do that now. Okay, tail prop in position, seat belts are off, parking checklist complete, and we will be flying a new leg, so that's the procedure complete. Alright, sector number 1 is done. We still had some minor issues, but nothing major. So I'm really wondering how that is going to work out with sector number 2. But for now, external power on, engine number 2 cut off. Okay, the first thing I see is that the electronic checklist has already reset onto the correct one, which is the final cockpit preparation checklist. So let's see how the turnaround is going to work in the end. The engine is no longer in HOTAS mode, so the wing light can go off. Perfect. The ATR is really a good looking airplane, isn't it? And Andre, welcome to Prague. I'm the Rhino on stand 60. Alright. So the flight plan should be reset. Everything should basically be done and in a good configuration. So let's quickly bring out our sim brief and plan the next sector. And we can do that together if you like. Well, first of all though, we got to have a look into Sim Toolkit in order to have a look at our landing. So, Sim Toolkit Pro. Give it a bit of time, as always. Here we are. View the full landing report, please. So, we've got our runway, we've got the aiming point, and we landed just shy of the aiming point, a little bit to the left, at a 361 feet a minute, so there's definitely no passengers sleeping anymore. But the landing was almost on the aiming point, so not a pretty landing, but a little bit positive apart from that. We've made it right onto the spot. So we would absolutely call this a textbook landing. That is the typical word that we would be using here. Alright, and with that we can get up sim brief in order to start planning on our next sector. So we will be Eurowings 9R528 for the way back from Prague towards Munich. We will hopefully not have any problems with alternates. And let's see, I've just got my standard Binter Canarias plane here made up. That's the one I'm probably flying the most. Okay, Eurowings 9527 looks good to me. The off-block time, we can make it 5 past, probably even a bit earlier. Let's make it on the hour, since we don't need to refuel. Alternate, well, we don't want to go that far. Let's go to Salzburg. And then passengers, we'll take 55 passengers. Routing looks good, and that should pretty much be it. Landing runway, well, hopefully going to be 26 right. Arrival stays the same. Arrival fuel, let's take along, well, 11 minutes extra, something the likes. Then we'll see what our fuel prediction is going to say. Okay, here we go. 1,549 kilograms. Let's see how much we have if we need to refuel. 1,930. Perfect. Then we don't need to fuel, so the tankering idea has worked out just fine. Okay, very nice. With that, planted flight level 200, that's going to be quite high for a flight like this. But then again, we aren't too heavy, so the airplane should be climbing up in less than 20 minutes, which for a 50-minute flight should be absolutely alright. Okay, I'm just about pre-filing the flight on VATSIM, and as soon as that is done, we are going to continue with our setup. In the meantime, we can, of course, have a look at the flight plan already, which I'm just about loading into Sim Toolkit right now. And here it is. So, let's see the OFP. Quick look into what we have and what we are going to. So, destination Munich is reporting light rain, few clouds at 3000, so it looks like the weather has passed through already. The worst part that we departed in seems to be over. And then going on from here. That rain is not applicable, but there's only rain in there right now, so nothing to be worried about. Looking at the alternate Salzburg, light rain. Yeah, that's still allows for landing a Romeo 15, so that's not an issue, and the forecast weather does as well. So we're good with the plan as it is. Minimum fuel 1549. We have like 1900 on board, so we are good to go without refueling. And for the passengers, let's see, 17.4, so we'll take like 1,000 pounds or so off. Weight and balance, let's make that 9.5, that seems to be looking good. Okay. Then let's give this another try. Data, initialize, flight plan. Route from LKPR towards Echo Delta Delta Mike. Gonna take a little while for that thing to load right now, but that is as expected. Comes down to a buck and max of Flight Simulator, by the way. But, surprise, what am I saying here? A buck and max of Flight Simulator. Of course, that is absolutely unheard of. And we are Eurowings 9528. Okay, execute. Departure, Prague, runway 24. And we've got the Doben for Alpha departure. Towards Doben, direct to Nirgo. And then from Nirgo, Tango 108 towards Landu. Airway, Tango 108 towards Landu. Execute. Flight plan. Munich. Okay, we'll need 26 right, I hope. Via Landu 26 transition. Execute. Okay, looks good. Then initialize performance. Kilometer flight level 200. The alternate is going to be Salzburg at flight level. What's that? 110. Okay, give that a moment to load. And it is done loading. So let's see if that thing is going to erase itself again. I believe it did it yesterday as well. So let's see if we found some new bug there or if there is anything else going on with it. Okay, in the meantime, weights, let's update those. 17.4, and that is exactly what we have planned as well. Very nice. Okay. Ubison, why do the Whiskey, Sierra, Echo and November keys have a circle around them on the scratch pad? Does it have to do with the compass directions? Yes, it has. That's pretty much exactly what you say, to mark the compass directions. Not sure why you would need that in nowadays world, but, you know, world can be a hard place at times. No, just joking. It's probably a leftover from the good old times, and doesn't hurt anyone, so... Oh, look at that, however. Let's go back to normal speeds. If I try to change the transition altitude, it doesn't let me. It resets automatically to 18,000. So we found a bug. Surprise, we found a bug. Okay. well, I'll not be nagging on it. So, everything up here... Oh, we don't need those fuel pumps right now. Apart from that, everything up here is looking good. The fueling didn't even happen, so the seatbelt signs can be turned on again. It is rather hot inside, though, at 28 degrees. Isn't that hot right here? No, just 13. Wow, I thought with the doors open, it shouldn't be that bad. If we look over here, the front door is open, the aft door is open. I would have expected things to be a little bit cooler. But well, we can live with it. Okay, down here, pretty much nothing needs a setup. We can go back to localizer, heading mode, speed mode, and we can arm the nav mode. And that should be pretty much all we need. Okay, let's continue with our departure briefing then. So, threats for the departure, well, maybe some air traffic controllers who might not be 100% spot on, so we'll just think along, and if there's anything that we feel not happy about, we'll just let them know. In terms of vectors and stuff, we're not gonna scream at them for complaining about pilots doing what they're instructed to. Apart from that, I don't see any issues for this departure. The route check is pretty much looking good. We've got a distance of 234, and that's pretty much as expected. Left seat takeoff, runway 24, flaps 5, noise abatement procedure number 2 here in Prague, and the SID is taking us straight out, slight right turn. Well, actually straight out and a left turn. Initial climb, we'll have to check with our traffic control, and MSA-wise, 4,000 is safe, so 4,000 is what we are gonna go to. And initial climb is 5,000 feet, I just saw on the charts. Okay, so that is pretty much our setup completed. The only thing that I'm not 100% sure about right now is the VNAV indications over here. I don't know why they are showing on the primary flight display. I would have expected them to have reset. But anyway. So, for the taxi then, we can taxi straight out of the stand, and then it's going to be a simple right-hand turn, and we'll be straight at the runway. If we have a look at the chart... Oh, that's what I'm looking for. Then we simply go off to the right, and then on the parallel taxiway all the way over here to the full-length runway 24. Our departure is the Doben for Alpha departure. Pretty simple, straight out to Papa Romeo 402, which we have in here, 402. And then a slight left turn towards Doben, climbing 5,000 feet. MSA, as said, the highest is 4,000. Any questions, comments or concerns? No? Very good. Then let's go ahead and read the final cockpit preparation checklist. So, park and brake. Engaged and pressure checked. Altimeters. 1013 set and checked. Landing elevation checked. FMS ComNav set. Fuel quantity, fuel on board. We have 1,930, and that adds up from the tanks as well. Engine fuel used. Reset, memo panel checked, power management, takeoff, final cockpit preparation checklist complete. Okay then, let's go ahead and get IFR clearance. And that's gonna be 120.05. And obviously we'll grab the ATIS first.
Delivery 120.050. You have received status information November. Good evening, Route 9 ATIS information November 18 ILS 30 approach. Runway and use 24. Transition level 70 meter Praha issued at 1830. Wind 230 degrees 6 knots. Visibility 10 kilometers or more. Scattered at 4,400 feet. Temperature 122.10 QNH 1013 hectopascals. No SIG 4 startup and ATC clearance contact Route delivery 120.050. You have received status information November.
Okay, so we have ATIS November. Let's go ahead and grab our clearance.
November QNH 1013. Time 55. Startup approved. Skytrail 101, cleared to Krakow via R25 Alpha departure, runway 24, initial climb altitude 5,000 feet, squawk 1,000.
clear to Krakow, R5 Alpha departure, initial altitude 5000 feet, squawk 1000 and QNH 1013, Skytrail 101.
Skytrail 101, read back correct, contact ground 121.9er, see you.
Contact ground 121.9er, hezký večer, Skytrail 101.
Okay, I just seem to be having a couple problems pre-filing the flight plan. For some reason I keep getting some error messages. Might just about have to file a manual flight plan, so give me a sec to do that.
Good evening, cruising delivery, information November, QNH 1013, time 56, startup is approved. Hit arrow 19 Lima, cleared to Rome, via Dublin 4 Alpha, runway 24, initial climb 5000 feet, squawk 1000.
Clear to Rome by the Dublin 4 Alpha departure runway 24, QNH 1013, and squawk 1000 in Tower 19 Lima.
Yep, initial climb 5000 feet, read back correct, startup approved, and contact ground 121.9er. Have a nice flight, bye bye.
Startup approved and contact ground 121.9er, thanks for your service in Tower 19 Lima.
Delivery, good evening, Skytrail 905.
Okay, flight plan is filed. Now we just about need to wait for a free spot on the delivery frequency, I suppose.
Skytrail 905, good evening.
Good evening, Skytrail 905. Information November request for clearance to Innsbruck.
The Art of Chill is asking, can you be on VATSIM without real-life time? Yes, you can. The only thing that you are required to have is real-life weather. So, you need real weather, but not real time. Otherwise, all those guys flying VFR would be pretty messed over. And Forrest is asking, have you tested GSX on the ATR? Well, only the pushback, because that is the only GSX stuff I'm using. The rest of it is just too bugged. And J.I., I hope your new employer will allow social media and YouTube stuff so we can follow along with your Airbus transition. Yeah, I really hope so as well. I don't know. I don't know anything in those regards yet, but I'm really hoping for it. Because I would absolutely love to do a little bit of coverage as I'm going along with the type rating.
Skytrail 905, please confirm QNH 1013.
Affirm 1013, Skytrail 905.
Correct, startup approved, contact ground 121.9er, see you, nice flight.
121.9er, away, Skytrail 905.
Was in your delivery, good evening, Eurowings 90528, information November, request clearance to Munich and startup.
Eurowings 90528, hello, information November, QNH 1013, time 58, startup approved, Eurowings 90528, please, will you accept runway? Standby, please. Standby shortly.
Eurowings 90528, QNH 1013, startup approved, standing by for clearance. Okay. Well, I seriously hope he's not going to change our entire route again.
Yep,
that would be a little bit annoying. Well, in the meantime, while they are working out our flight plan, we can already start closing everything up. And then, what else can we do?
Eurowings 90526, clear to Munich, Dublin 4 Alpha departure, runway 24, initial climb altitude 5000 feet, squawk 1000.
Eurowings 90528, startup approved, cleared to Munich via the Dublin 4 Alpha departure, runway 24, climb 5000 feet, squawk 1000.
Correct, startup approved, contact ground 121.9er.
Start approved, 121.9er, Eurowings 9528. Okay, 121.9er is in, then we've got 5000 feet, the squawk is going to 1000 now. And we have startup clearance so the transponder can come on. And with that, we are pretty much ready to go. Okay, on this occasion, we are going to start engine number 1 first, and then we will disconnect the external power and get ready. So, startup is approved. Let's do the before propeller rotation checklist. Cockpit door locking system on, FMS and takeoff data. Let's confirm that real quick. Okay, it's confirmed. Trims on 3 axes. Was a bit too much. Is set. Tail prop on board. Doors closed. Seatbelts on. Beacon on. Before propeller rotation checklist complete. Okay, then let's go ahead and start up engine number 1. Using ignition system A right now, because it's only the first flight of the day where you're using ignition A and B, and thereafter, on even days you're using system A, and on odd days you're using system B.
Request flight start to Rome, Taipei 330 Neo, QNH 1013 with...
Okay, that's a good start on number 2.
Peter 495
and into auto.
Delivery information November QNH 1013 times 0.
Okay. So the external power can be disconnected. And then we can start up engine number 2 and the propeller brake can already be released.
Clear to Rome, runway 24,
so starting engine 2.
For Alpha, initial altitude to 5,000. Squawk 1,000.
Dolan?
QNH 1013.
QNH 1013, 495.
Read correct, contact ground 121.9 route.
121.9.
Hey, good start on 2. Condition Libre Auto. And the B4 taxi checklist, please. Flight warning system. Recalled. Cockpit comm hatch. Closed. Condition lever 1 and 2. Auto. Anti-icing. Off. TRU. On and checked. Anti-skid test performed. Flaps 15. Nose wheel steering. On. B4 taxi checklist complete.
Taxi Golf and Alpha to holding point runway 24.
Continue taxi via Golf and Alpha via the mentioned traffic to horizon 240 to Charlie.
CSA 65 Tango, pushback approved.
Pushback approved, 65 Tango.
Senior ground, good evening again, Eurowings 90528, request taxi.
Eurowings 90528, Senior ground, good evening, taxi via Delta and Bravo to holding point runway 24.
Taxi via Delta and Bravo, holding point 24, Eurowings 90528. Okay, that's first right, first left. Lights on, brakes off, brake check, works, and off we go. Clear left, clear right,
134.55, have a nice flight, goodbye.
Okay, first off to the right.
Negative, 134.55.
134.55,
and ground CSA 464, ready for mission starts, down 26.
Config test. It's okay. Taxi checklist. Taxi and takeoff flight on, brakes checked. Flight guidance control panel and FMA. Checked. Takeoff config test performed. Taxi checklist complete.
Yeah, never mind. Expect taxi within 5 minutes. 2 more traffic ahead. Pushing back as well.
Okay, intersection Bravo is what he cleared us to, so we'll go to the left over here.
Contact Rosinha Tower, 134.55. Have a nice flight. Choose.
134.55. Eurowings 90528. Choose.
CSA 2 Charlie Zulu, any problem?
CSA 2 Charlie Zulu, yes, we have problems with the front gear. Just give me 2 link.
Hey,
From the Scaraboo 905,
approximately
how many minutes delay?
The new tower, good evening. Eurowings 90528, ready for departure. Okay, let's quickly do the takeoff briefing. left C takeoff, runway 24, flaps 15, noise abatement procedure 2. Takeoff speeds are going to be 106, 106 and 110. Noise abatement procedure number 2, sit straight ahead with a light left-hand turn, and we contact departure immediately. No, we contact departure when instructed on 120525. And that is pretty much it. Emergency straight ahead, 4,000 feet. Before takeoff, checklist to the line. So, takeoff briefing performed, gas block off, flight controls. Those we didn't do. So, full up, full down, full left, full right, and the rudders, full left, full right. Flight controls, checked, transponder and TCAS, checked, boost function off, airflow normal. Before takeoff, checklist complete down to the line.
Wings 90528, behind landing Airbus A320 Neo, line up and wait runway 24 behind.
Wings 90528, behind the landing Airbus A320, line up runway 24 behind. Okay, can't see him yet, but we gotta keep an eye out. Oh, there he is. Still a little while out.
8727 Juliet, behind landing Airbus A320, line up and wait, runway 24 behind, number 2 for departure. Line up and wait, runway 24 8727 Juliet, confirm behind landing confirm behind landing
Okay, we can switch all of that stuff on already.
9528, number 1 for departure.
9528, roger. That's really nice, he's getting us out first. Okay, the traffic is about to land. Already get this clear. 0525 shouldn't be that much. So just waiting for the Airbus now. And there he comes. Okay, brakes off. And he should hopefully take the next exit. Yes, he does. Okay, below the line. Cabin crew advised. Engine bleeds on. External lights are on. Oh, the traffic is off the runway.
Runway 528, runway 24, clear for takeoff, winds 230 degrees.
Alright, flight director bar on, Bromwich cam centered, default takeoff checks complete. Wings 9528, runway 24, clear for takeoff. Stabilized. Takeoff thrust.
8727 Julie, line up and wait, runway 24.
Okay, takeoff power sets, indications normal. Dummy knots, checked. B1, rotate. That sounded interesting, but it's only 7 degrees of pitch. That could not have been a tail strike. Positive rate, gear up. The tail strike attitude is higher in this plane, so...
528, contact radar 120.525, bye-bye.
120.525, or wings 9528, bye-bye. Bottom crown. Then your radar good. Evening, or wings 9528, 1900, climbing 5000.
Wings 9528, hello, identify, climb flight level 160.
Climb flight level 160, or wings 9528.
Correction, climb to flight level 140.
Or wings 9528, please confirm climb level 140. Okay, climb first.
140.
Hotel climbing 140, or wings 9528. Okay, set. 140 checked. Okay, flaps 0. And autopilot on. Takeoff light is off already. Very nice, then we can do the after takeoff checklist. Landing gear up, flaps 0, power management ND. Time and check. Engine bleed on, taxi takeoff light off, after takeoff checks complete to the line. Look at that wind correction angle that we are applying over here. I find it really impressive to see from the outside just how much you need to actually point the nose into the wind. What I also find amazing to see, by the way, is the very shallow climb that the ATR is giving us. Like, in a 737 you would be, at this distance, so much higher. And there comes the next guy behind us.
Munich 9528, flight direct, Virgo.
Wings 9528, direct, Yoke. Direct 2, let's see where that is. Yoke. Can't see that anywhere. Wings 9528, please spell the waypoint.
9528, November, India, Romeo, Golf, Oscar, Virgo.
Direct Nirgo, Wings 9528, thank you. Okay, Nirgo, execute. Enough available? Enough. Standard. Passing flight level 56. Now. And with that, altimeter set and checked. After takeoff checklist complete. Okay, I would say for the first turnaround, that was actually quite alright. It really seems to have worked here. And comment from Foxtrot Alpha Aviation, another great livestream, former ATRs 42 and 72 FO here. In real life there will always be some residual amount of ice left on the de-icing boots, referred to as impact ice. This needs to be de-iced using type 1. Thank you very much, my friend. I didn't know that.
Yoke 9528, turn left heading 10 for spacing, stop climb level 100.
Wings 9528, left heading 180, stop climb level 100. Why are they doing it again? Wings 9528, any chance you can simply separate us vertically without a delay vector?
Yoke 9528, expect delay vector for sequence.
Roger. That is so unnecessary. We're flying such a shallow profile. The guy will simply outclimb us. He will be above us. And most importantly, a controller should never turn... Left 160, Wings 9528. A controller would never turn out the preceding aircraft. According to the rules of the air, it is always the aircraft that is overtaking that has to take avoiding actions. So, he's turning us off 60 degrees from our track, simply because an aircraft behind us. You wouldn't do that. If you look at this guy would have to turn off track. Well, or that guy could stay on track but simply have to level off below us. But turning us off track for another guy is against any rules. So this is exactly what you would not do.
9528, turn right heading 210.
That for easy or for Eurowings 9528?
Correction, Eurowings 9528 and right heading 220.
Right heading 220, Eurowings 9528. He said easy before, didn't he?
Navigation direct Zeruda.
Okay, flight level 100. We'll flick the no device sign off, but we are definitely going to keep the seatbelts on for now.
Eurowings 9528, racing navigation direct near go.
Alright, near go, Eurowings 9528.
Runway 377, hello, Prague, identified.
Okay, near go, execute.
Easy 727 Juliet, contact Prague 18375.
Okay, minus 3 degrees, could be some ice in there. Let's put the anti-ice on.
Eurowings 9528, climb to flight level 120.
Eurowings 9528, climb flight level 120, confirm.
Correct.
Roger. That 120 checked. Let's go vertical speed plus 2000 so that the airplane doesn't shoot into the air too quickly.
9528, climb to flight level 140.
Eurowings 9528, climb flight level 140. That. Speed hold. Okay, we'll keep the seatbelts on because this looks like it could get a little bit bumpy already.
Runway 377, climb to flight level 160 direct.
Yeah, the airplanes already went into icing AOA. Let's see if we can reset that. Yeah, I think we can't while the anti-ice is on.
Eurowings 9528, contact radar 134. Correction 118375.
118.375, Eurowings 9528. Radar low, Eurowings 9528, flight level 116, climbing 140 inbound Yoke.
Eurowings 9528, hello, radar identified. Topsis for 3 Tango Yankee, proceed direct.
Oh, let's quickly talk about what is working and what is not working with the turnaround now. Basically, the only thing that I encountered that I thought was strange was that I couldn't reset the FMAs. But I simply selected the new modes and then it worked. Apart from that, at least from what I could see, the FMS resetted nicely. The electronic checklist resetted nicely. Even the elapsed timer over here resetted nicely. Yeah, apart from that, I think everything worked rather well. One thing I did not see, maybe somebody can check that in the aftermath of the live stream, is the NP on the departure, if they went to 100% properly or not. Because I read a couple of reports from people, even here in the comments and under my other videos as well, that the NP wouldn't go to 100% for takeoff. Maybe somebody can confirm that by going backwards a little bit in the live stream. Apart from that,
Polonia 108 Lima, hello, Prague radar identified. 71 November Yankee, contact me radar 133.575, bye.
And the art of chill and release on say NP did not go to 100. Okay, then we definitely got another bug report that we're going to file. But so far, that and the FMA, which I couldn't reset, are the only 2 bugs that I could find related to the turnaround. Oh, and of course the VNAV scale over here. That should be gone as well.
Eurowings 9528, climb to flight level 200.
Eurowings 9528, climb flight level 200. That, level 200 checked.
68,
And
contact
speed hold.
radar 127.575, bye.
And Foxtrot Alpha Aviation, I should clarify if there is some remaining ice called impact ice left on the de-icing bird after landing, then type 1 de-icing is required. However, in flight after a de-icing cycle... Okay, yeah, type 1 de-icing definitely makes sense to remove it.
377, hello,
Just wondering, Foxtrot Alpha Aviation, are you ever using type 3 de-icing fluid? Because in the 737 we learned that type 3 is only used for slow turboprop aircraft, but I never really thought I saw it in use somewhere. At least I never really saw the color. Maybe you can confirm if you've been using it? And Forrest, thanks for today. Don't have time to watch anymore. See ya, good luck with the flight. Well, thank you, Forrest. See you next time. Metal Eye, I found the reason for the tail strike Simon takeoff. It's Hans Hartmann's anchor under the wings. Honestly, I don't want to know which part of the aircraft Hans has that anchor sticking out. But this is a really nice view, isn't it?
Turn left heading 180 for spacing.
Left 180 spacing.
Okay, seems like we will be clear of ice for the moment, so anti-ice can go off. And, well, we'll keep the seatbelts on, because I do estimate a little bit of turbulence by the time we get further up.
Runner 7 Alpha Victor, hello, inbound to Macau at 50280.
Runner 7 Alpha Victor, hello, Prague radar, cleared flashing for Sierra arrival and identified.
Okay then.
Runner 7 Alpha Victor, I only have flashing 3 Sierra arrival problem.
Oh, what else do we have? Up a climb in 60 miles. No, that is not correct. That is not correct. The top of climb should definitely be earlier. Let's take a screenshot. I'm gonna send that to Hans later.
464, climb to flight level 308.
As the top of descent, somewhere in the transition, okay.
Easy 727, Juliet, contact me for radar 129.1 by.
You can pre-select that. That frequency is going to be for us as well later on.
129.1.
Okay then, let's see if they already got an ATAS up in Munich. 123, 125.
Left and 26 right and use attention. S8 closed. Expect possible delay in special taxi procedures. Wind 250 degrees 10 knots. Visibility more than 10 kilometers clouds. Broken 3,600 feet. Transition level 70, temperature 10. 2.9 QNH 1015. Nosig. Information Romeo out.
Friend 3 Bravo Kilo, when ready descend flight level 150, reach by Lanux.
When ready to descend level 150, cruise at Lanux, Friend 3 Bravo Kilo.
ILS approach runway 26 left and 26 right and use attention. S8 closed. Expect possible delay in special taxi procedures. Wind 250 degrees 10 knots. Visibility more than 10 kilometers clouds.
Runner 7 Alpha Victor, your last request.
Level 70, temperature 10.
Runner 7 Alpha Victor, I only have flashing 3 Sierra arrival.
Information Romeo.
No problem, use flashing 3 Sierra.
Okay, then expecting flashing 3 Sierra arrival. Runner 7 Alpha Victor.
Okay, just using the whole stretch pad here as a little reminder, but that looks alright to me. Okay, so, Sierra Alpha closed, expect special taxi procedure. So what is that? Okay, that's one of the main taxiways. Okay, that might make it interesting. Well, not that interesting, to be honest. Apart from that, let's see if we're gonna enter those clouds or not. Anyway, we might also have a quick look at the weather radar.
Is there 186 kilo contact wind radar 135.625 by?
See if we can get any decent indication from this as to the weather out there, because this looks rather turbulent. Anyway, before we get into that, this doesn't look particularly turbulent, so let's put the seatbelts off for a short moment so that the passengers can see the toilets.
464, resume our navigation
And the weather radar. What is the big picture saying?
Wings 08 Charlie, hello, Praha radar identified.
Yeah, the weather is good.
Radar, good evening, CSA 5.
Let's turn it off again. Oh. I have a feeling flight level 200 was too high. But Simbrief called it the optimal flight level, even though I kinda doubt it. Well, we'll live with whatever Simbrief said there, so we'll just take it up here and then we see what's gonna happen.
Renner 377, contact mention radar 129.1 bar.
And Foxtrot Alpha Aviation. In Canada we only have Type 1 red-orange heated fluid, Type 4 emerald green, for VR higher than 100 knots. Haven't seen Type 3 before. Okay, thanks.
And for Eurowings 9528, contact mention radar 129.1 by.
129.1, Eurowings 9528, bye.
340.
München, schönen guten Abend, Eurowings 9528, passing 195, climbing 200 in Munich.
Eurowings 9528, München, hello again, identified.
Oh, something that I wanted to try real quick. What happens if you turn the auto-tune on? Does it actually auto-tune something? Something reasonable, that is?
Hammer 1 contacts Rhein 120, that's mit 925. Ciao.
Rhein 120, 925, Hammer 1, danke Marvin, tschüss.
Hammer 1? That gotta be the Air Force flying there. Some kind of a fighter jet, maybe? They usually fly call signs like this, like Hammer 1.
FedEx 47 X-ray Bravo, München identified.
Okay, so that top of climb there is definitely incorrect. But let's see how the airplane is going to level off. Probably going to take a while again. In the meantime, let's make a bit of switching on the displays. By the way, I find the synthetic vision over here to look so strange. What do you think about this synthetic vision? I don't know, I can't get used to this. I figure it's probably really useful when you're doing a low visibility approach. But apart from that, I don't know. I prefer this so much, so incredibly much. Okay, what does it look like? Outside the icing, very good. And do we have any ice on here? No. AOA can be reset.
On a 377, proceed direct Landu.
Okay, let's take the time while it lasts to start setting up for the approach already.
240 at 2000 feet per minute or greater.
We'll start planning runway 26 right, then we'll see what's gonna happen. So that's gonna be 108.75.
Much radar, good evening, CSA 464, climbing flight level 30.
CSA 464, München radar identified, hello, climb flight level 3.
And then we need Delta Mike North and Mike NDV.
Easy 727 Juliet, climb level 360. Easy 727 Juliet, contact München on 134.150.
Okay. That's that, and a minimum of 1650.
Contact Langen on 125.2.
Alright, let's do a quick approach briefing. And by the way, at the same time, let's select cruise thrust. And let's complain why the speed bug remains at 170. Because it activated the approach speed. Well, there is absolutely no reason to activate that now, so At least once we deselected, the speed bucket is going. I believe it did the same thing on the flight over to Prague, didn't it? Where is that guy going? Okay, in front of us. 5 miles is the minimum separation we need en route, and that should really be all. Okay, well, let's go ahead and quickly insert some
Boeing 958 to Lando.
Boeing 958 to Lando.
Ryanair 377, descend flight level 110 at 1,500 feet per minute.
And Onaweg. And if we're on it already, let's make it Lando Throttle 120 or something the likes. That should give us a usable VNAV profile, I hope. Let's see. Oh, it doesn't. The topper descent is still behind Lando. If we can force it somehow. Direct Lando again.
Radar,
it's broken.
70 Romeo passing flight level 140 for flight level
What cruise level does it have?
47 Sierra Romeo München identified. Hello,
nope,
cluster
the
level
topper
300.
descent is broken.
Climbing flight level 300, quality
On the first leg it worked fine, and as it should. On the second one it didn't. But I just took a screenshot, gonna send a little bit more work towards Hans. Okay, arrival briefing then. We are going to fly the Lando 2-6 transition, I suppose, which I've put in the box already. I'm not going to brief through the entire waypoint. We'll do it as we get it from ATC. Apart from that, we have the ILS approach runway 26 right currently programmed in here, which we have in here as well. Starting at Gudek, 5,000 feet, 3-degree glide path, which we have in the box as well, down to a minimum of 1649. 1650 is selected left and right.
47 X-ray Bravo, contact radar on 133, that's
okay, left and right. And in case I missed approach, straight at 1 DME to the west of Delta Mike November, then a right hand turn towards Mike NDV, climb to 5,000. And in here we have Delta Mike November 1, 1900, whichever is later, Mike NDV.
8.025.
Okay. Gonna vacate the runway to the left, and then we'll see how they do it on VATSIM. In real life, you would contact the ground controller as soon as you've vacated the runway. On VATSIM, we'll see what they're gonna do. That should be pretty much it. Any questions? Oh, very good. Okay. Bit of icing coming up.
Ryanair 377, correct arrival on 128.025. Block, Ryanair 377, 128.025.
We'll keep the seatbelts off for a little bit longer, but once we're getting close to this, I'm definitely going to turn them on, because that absolutely looks turbulent.
Hello.
No money for a Funkgerät.
Wings 958, descend, flight level 110 at 1,500 feet per minute or more.
Wings 958, descend 110 at 1,500 or more.
FedEx 678, correct radar 133.575.
110 blue, vertical speed.
Confirm calling FedEx 670.
And then 1,500 feet a minute as instructed.
133.575.
This happens really often in Germany, by the way, that you don't really get to descend on VNAV or anything, but they simply give you a vertical speed, and with that, air traffic control is basically taking complete control of your aircraft. Especially at the big airports like Frankfurt and Munich, that is how you fly a lot of your arrivals. So, at some point they will give us a speed restriction also and a heading, and at that point ATC basically has full control of our airplane, and all we do is sit here and, you know, make the airplane carry out ATC's orders. Okay, entering the clouds, seatbelts on. So, quick plan for those of you who joined a little bit later. After the landing, we are going to be playing a little bit with the flight plan and the secondary flight plan. And we'll see if we can make the FMC freeze up somehow, or if we can mess our flight plan over. Because I really want to find out if there is, you know, anything we can do in order to break the secondary flight plan. Because I did have some problems with it earlier, but apparently Hans included quite some fixes on that, and I'm really looking forward to see how those are going to work out. So far, my first impression is that the ATR update is really good, and that Hans has really done a lot of work there. And yeah, it just seems to work. There are still a couple of issues left, but I know that there will be more updates for the ATR coming, so it certainly looks very promising. To answer the question that I see asked the most here, would I recommend buying the ATR? The answer to that can really be an unrestricted yes.
Here for just a minute.
Okay, stay with you, just for a few minutes, 47 Romeo.
47 Sierra Romeo, yeah, they are changing the sectors. Contact 120.925, and that's gonna be Rheinräder.
Foxtrot Alpha Aviation, we had a major accident in the ATR 42 due to icing in 2017. The ATR crashed 17 seconds after takeoff, Westbound flight 282. And I'm gonna have to Google that.
128.025, servus.
128025.
Ciao, CSA 464, contact München, 134.150.
Arrival, schönen guten Abend, Eurowings 9528, passing level 158, descending 1500 or greater, information Romeo.
Eurowings 9528, München, hello, identified. Ryanair 377, speed 250 knots.
I have no idea what the possible delay is going to be, but I'm absolutely positive there will be some. Anyway, in the meantime, let's do the descent checklist. Oh, flight warning system. Recalled, landing elevation checked, FMS, nothing performance, set and checked. GHMDA, set and checked, arrival briefing performed, descent checklist complete. Master caution, icing. Okay, de-icing system on.
Eurowings 9528, speed 250 knots.
Eurowings 9528 unable, we can give you 240 knots.
Eurowings 9528, roger, speed 240 knots.
240, Eurowings 9528. Yeah, 250 would be exactly the red line. And I do absolutely not want to fly the plane exactly on the red line. We'll fly it around 240, that's going to be much better for us. Marcus, the soundset could use an update. Yeah, I do agree. It's not too bad, but it's definitely not too good either. It is in the line of what I would expect from a Microsoft airplane. Keep in mind, Hans has done the system, but the rest of it is done by Microsoft and Asobo, and you can obviously see that. Clemens, what's the difference between an RNAV approach and an LNAV VNAV approach? Well, LNAV VNAV basically is an RNAV approach. But RNAV basically covers everything that you fly with the FMC, so anything FMC based. While LNAV VNAV describes a method of doing the approach, and there may be different minima depending on the equipment that your aircraft has available. So if you have LNAV VNAV, then your airplane is going to guide you fully, while, for example, on a simple RNAV approach you might only have lateral guidance and you might have to do the vertical part yourself.
Ryanair 377, turn left heading 160.
Left heading 160, Ryanair 377.
Ryanair 377, turn left heading 090, contact director 132.3, bye-bye.
Left heading 090, Ryanair 377.
And contact director 132.3, bye-bye.
So, leveling off, let's use a little bit of power.
Negative 132.3.
Yeah, that's a lot of power. And that is actually the notch. Okay. So 230 is like the maximum we can do now. We'll have to tell ATC about that.
flight level 77.
First December 450, continue climb via set flight level 190.
190 is down.
Gotta find free movement on the frequency there.
Identified, climb via set flight level 100.
Climb via set flight level 100, engine level 100.
Lufthansa 3 Lima Charlie speed 250 knots.
Lufthansa 3 Lima Charlie reducing speed to 5 km.
Wings 9528, due to airplane performance we need to reduce speed to 30 knots.
Wings 9528, roger, reduce speed to 20 knots, descend 5000 feet, QNH 10 on left.
Reduce to 20 knots, descend 5000 on. Okay, that's also a way to do it. So 5000. Speed hold. Set 1015.
Lufthansa 3 Lima Charlie, descend 5000 feet, QNH 1015.
That's passing 11,000 and 5,000 more flags down by set. One thing I did notice when I'm using the option to synchronize the altimeters is while I'm getting 1015 on the primary, I'm getting 1014 showing on the standby. That is certainly not supposed to be.
Eurowings 9528, turn left heading 140.
Left heading 140, Eurowings 9528. Heading.
Lufthansa 450, look directive down.
Directive down, Lufthansa 450.
Okay, I suppose he's trying to put us behind this guy over there, which might mean a pretty quick approach. With a bit of luck. Well, let's get descending a little bit faster.
Eurowings 9528, turn left heading 100, contact director 132.3, ciao.
Left heading 100, 132.3, Eurowings 9528. Ciao.
Lufthansa 450, contact München 129.12.
Hey, 132.3. And we've passed 10,000. Guys off.
Lufthansa 2 Golf Yankee, speed 170 knots or less.
Speed 170 knots or less.
Director, hello, Eurowings 9528.
Eurowings 9528, director, hello, identified. Do you have a preferred runway?
26 right.
Roger, expect so.
Roger. Okay, 26 right expected, that is very good.
Eurowings 9528, you may turn again right heading 130.
Right heading 130, Eurowings 9528.
Director, good start, Lufthansa 3 Lima Charlie.
Okay then, we can go over to VOR1.
Ryanair 377, turn right heading 230.
Let's clean the flight plan up real quick.
Lufthansa 3 Lima Charlie, do you have a preferred runway? Lufthansa 3 Lima Charlie, 26 right. Roger, expect so.
We don't receive anything on the ILS yet.
Turn right heading 170.
Was that for us?
Eurowings 9528, turn right heading 170.
Eurowings 9528, right heading 170.
Lufthansa 2 Golf Yankee, contact München Tower 120.
Something important here. When you hear a transmission on the frequency, but you are not sure if that is meant for you or not, then do not just ask, but simply wait. ATC is going to say it again. And indeed, I dialed the wrong ILS frequency. It's 108.7 and not 0.75.
Eurowings 9528, speed 200.
Speed 200, Eurowings 9528.
Ryanair 377, speed 200.
Okay, and obviously I did it wrong again. 1087.
First, Eurowings
Okay, that's
9528, turn
right.
right heading 230, clear ILS 26 right, maintain speed 200.
Eurowings 9528, right 230, cleared ILS 26 right, maintain the speed.
Ryanair 26 Yankee, director, hello, identified. Do you have a preferred runway?
Okay, the heading is 230, the runway track I forgot to set earlier
Ryanair
on.
377, maintain speed 170 knots or greater.
260.
Contact tower, 118, smooth 7.
No, 261. Here we go, and that is set.
Okay,
approach armed. And we should have an approach checklist. And we have localizer capture.
Lima Charlie, turn right, heading 230, clear left 26 right, speed 200.
We're heading 261 set. Okay, approach checklist. Seatbelts on, landing lights on, altimeters 1015 set and checked, and cabin altitude is checked. Approach checklist.
On wings 958, are you able to maintain speed 180 knots until 60 knee?
Our wings 958, A-firm, we can give you 180 until 40 knee.
Okay, 180 until 60 knee is sufficient, so please do that and contact tower 118.7, Dankeschön, tschüss.
180 until 6, 1187, our wings 958, true. Okay, 18.7 and the speed 180. And we've got it. Almost glide stop capture, so let's quickly get the speed down. Before we get that, here we go. Glide stop capture, missed approach 5,000 feet set.
Running 40 Echo, contact me radar 123.9.
123.9 for film wings 40 Echo.
Sun Express 227.
Okay, speed is 180 now.
Right, clear for takeoff.
Roger, clear takeoff 36 right, Saxon 227.
Oh, hello, Eurowings 90528, 180 until 6.
Eurowings 90528, moving tower.
Getting a bit fast here, and the comment from Pouring Water, I don't know if I'm stupid, but I was in airspace class Charlie at about 9,000 feet at 330 knots, and ATC told me that I can't fly more than 250 knots below 100, no matter in what airspace I am. Well, that is definitely wrong. Airspace Charlie does not have a speed restriction. You can ask the air traffic controller to tell you where it would be written that you have to maintain 250 knots, because that is not written anywhere. Probably in your airline's operations manual, but not in any official document. It's only in airspace class Echo. Well, and Foxtrot. And Golf. But not in those that you find around international airports. Okay. Approaching some 6 DME over here.
Roger, 133.9, M6, 227.
Good morning, plus Lima Charlie, 26 right, speed 150.
Then, automatic speed, FAB 15. Let's do the controllers a favor and maintain a little bit higher speed than usual. Let's give it 160 until 4 miles. Something like this. Okay, temperature is 11 degrees, anti-ice off. Okay, 4 miles, speed back to auto. Gear down. Power management towards takeoff. And indeed, the NP stays at 82. Not sure if it should in these conditions, to be honest, but it does it. Okay, landing flaps. And then before landing checklist. Cabin crew, advised, landing gear, 3 greens, flaps, checked, power management, takeoff, TRU low speeds, checked, icing AOA lights. Can cancel that. And external lights on. Runway 26 right, clear land, Eurowings 90528. Okay, wipers on fast.
Contact ground 121.975.
I believe that was a brief low speed warning there. Okay, before landing checks are complete. Lovely graphics, right? Really lovely. That's what I like the simulator for. It might be lacking a little bit when it comes to flight dynamics, but when it comes to graphics, those make up for everything. Okay, autopilot off.
Approaching minimum.
Correct.
Wings 9528, information Alpha 9 is actually blocked, so use Alpha 6.
200.
Roger.
Minimum.
Continue.
Minimum. 100.
Look at how we're showing 4 reds on the puppies, but are actually
50,
above the glide.
40, 30, 20, 10.
Get down. Okay, an airplane on the first exit there, it seems. Then I'll not even put it in reverse. But we'll just let it roll. Okay, Throttle can go. Ah, Ryanair, of course. Who else? Okay, let's add a little bit of thrust so that we don't spend too much time on the runway here. Okay, vacating Alpha 6 as ATC wanted.
Charlie, wind 250 degrees, 10 knots, runway 26, right, clear to land.
From the 3 Lima Charlie, runway 26, right, clear to land.
Okay, we can stop up here.
Hello, contact ground, 121, decimal 975.
1975, 4 weeks 9528, Joe. Und hallo, Eurowings 9528, Alpha 6.
Eurowings 9528, taxi to entry November 1 via Mike Alpha 4.
November 1, Mike Alpha 4, Eurowings 9528. Okay, first right and then the first left. Bit clear on the right. I can stop raining. Let's quickly click away all those in-flight checklists here. And then after landing checklist, radar, standby, flight controls, locked, flaps, 0, trims. Always forget the elevator trims. I don't know why. Reset, landing and strobe lights off, anti-ice off, probe off, TAE off. Complete, and we've got the 2 minutes, so condition lever 1. Go to feather. Okay, left over here. Alpha 4 towards entry November 1.
Eurowings 9528, over to Apron 121, decimal 775, schönen Aufenthalt in München.
121, 775, Eurowings 9528, schönen Dank, schönen Abend. Apron, schönen guten Abend, Eurowings 9528 at November 1. In Apron, schönen guten Abend, Eurowings 9528 at entry November 1. Okay, shutdown number 1. And he's not answering. Wings 90528, can you confirm the frequency, please?
121.775.
Oh, we tried that, we don't get any answers on there, or Wings 90728.
Wings 90528, stand by.
Okay, then we've got to stand by. I guess the controller probably just went offline or something the likes. Or maybe they changed some frequencies, or who knows.
Wings 90528, 121.775 should be staffed.
Roger, we'll try that again. We tried 2 times earlier and never got an answer, but we give it another try.
Wings 90528.
Here it is. Wings 90528 on frequency now. Hello, at November 1.
Wings 90528, München April 7. Taxi to stand 186 via Whiskey 1.
Stand 186 via Whiskey 1 or Wings 90528. Okay, straight ahead, and then on the right hand side, pretty much on the second building there. Okay, so single engine taxi. Engine number 1 is shut down. And it just works beautifully. Single engine taxi in the ATR works so beautifully. I mean, it should on any other plane as well. In the 737 you could pull this off exactly the same. And I'm pretty sure in the A320 it is the same thing.
185 via Whiskey 1.
Oh, the Ryanair is actually going to park next to us on 185. So the pressure is on not to accidentally miss the gate.
Lufthansa 1972 ready for pushing.
Lufthansa 1972, pushback approved, facing north.
By the way, quick note for anyone who is wondering. If you look at the fuel use gauges down here, you can see that we used just 450 kilograms of fuel for a flight like this to transport, well, 55 passengers on this one. And on the previous flight, we had even a little bit more and used a similar amount of fuel. So just think about that. And we took about 42 minutes flying time, while in a jet airplane, like the 737 or the A320, you would use easily 1.5 tons of fuel and carry about 2.5 times as many passengers. But if you add it up, you will see that with 3 ATRs carrying the same amount of passengers, if not a little bit more than, you would still be using less fuel than with a single 737. Obviously it wouldn't make sense because you have to pay 3 times the crew and 3 times the handling fees and stuff, but at least in terms of fuel, it really goes to show how beautiful those turboprop aircraft are in terms of fuel efficiency. Okay, park and brake set. Let's go ahead and put engine number 2 into feather. Let it run down. Nice, and then we can put the propeller brake on. Prop brake on, engine off, or rather propeller stopped spinning. And with that we can read the checklist. Now, if we still have any ATR pilot in the chat below, Fox Alpha Aviation maybe, if you're still here, how would you handle the tail prop at this point? Would you just give it out through the document hatch? Or would you just open the door before doing the parking checklist? How would that work in the real ATR? In the meantime, let's go ahead and read it. Park and brake, engage, taxi and takeoff light, off, condition lever 2, feather, beacon, off, transponder, standby, tail prop in position, and seat belts are off. Parking checklist complete. Oh, and I actually didn't want to select the new leg, but can't change it now. Okay, so be it. Alright, so that is basically it. We've made it. Let's leave the ATC frequency. And then we can try and play around a little bit with the secondary flight plan, seeing if we can break it by any means. In the meantime, however, let's quickly go ahead and have a look into Sim Toolkit Pro to see the landing report. And most importantly, we've got a ground power, so shutdown engine number 2. And that's it. Okay. So yeah, the second sector, there are still a few tiny issues left with the airplane. But then again, Hunt is going to do another couple updates for the ATR, so you can be absolutely sure that this was definitely not it yet. Yeah, apart from that, Foxtrot Alpha Aviation, do you think they include a beta prop range for the ATR in the future? In real life, we do use brakes to slow down a taxi. Good question. I don't know if the simulator would actually support something like the beta range. If it does, then... yeah, but I don't know if the simulator supports it. I do know, however, that they are already tricking a little bit by using an artificial speed brake at low thrust settings, but obviously that is not going to work on the ground. And Ricardo Sands, does the ATR display a bottom of descent in real life like an arc or something? Well, that's a very interesting point there. I asked a couple ATR pilots, and one of them actually said he transitioned from the 777 onto the ATR, and he said that the one thing that he had to get used to the most was that the ATR did not show any range to altitude arc. So now in the chat here, Doc Trench is saying he thinks so. It looked like it in a Fly with Magna video. Yeah, that may be a good source to have a look at for that. However, it might be an option then, because I'm pretty sure if one guy says his biggest change was that when transitioning onto the ATR was that he wasn't, that he didn't know something like that, then I could imagine it to be a company option. So maybe just submit a support ticket at Microsoft, make sure that they check, they have a couple ATR pilots there who advise them, and maybe they are able to figure something out. Okay, now let's bring it down to the secondary flight plan and see if we can play with that. Or rather, let's see if we can break the FMS. That's always the biggest challenge here, isn't it? So, we just about have to do a new flight plan, route. Let's say we're going from Munich towards Frankfurt. I'm just about entering something right now to have something in the active flight plan. And then we'll play with the secondary, see what we can get. Takes a little while to load this, up to 15 seconds, apparently. Okay. Oh, that is the secondary already. Good, well then we just about load something in. I don't actually care what it is that we're loading in right now. I just want to have something. Okay, so then let's see. Let's activate that. Okay, active flight plan. And here is our flight plan. Okay. Then let's go... let's go back to secondary. New. Copy. Execute. And now we want to change this. Let's say we want to go from Munich 261/25. Let's see if that is implemented by now. Not in database. Okay. Let's take any other waypoint. Nope, that doesn't work. That just inserted the same point, so we cannot do place bearing distance. But what if we simply take something else? Can't take that. Okay, then let's go with that. Yeah, something like this. Flat key with a holding. Then from here, new destination. Let's just say Cologne, just in order to put something in. You can see I'm really trying to break it right now. Because I want to know if the secondary flight plan is reliable by any means. But this actually looks quite alright. Let's see. New flight plan. Activate. Confirm. Yeah, that seems to work. It cannot take any place bearing distance waypoint yet, but I cannot easily break it. So that's good news actually, if I cannot break something. Because Hans is definitely going to confirm for you, I can break a lot of things. Let's see what that looks like. Yeah, seems legit, I guess. Okay, well, seems rather solid, to be honest. I cannot break that. Well, in that case, we are about finished, I would say. And Foxtrot Alpha Aviation, I believe the thing was stowed in the forward cargo hold and the ground crew handled that for you. Okay, very good. Well, VR Sim Pilot, hi all, how's the second sector going? I find it impossible to keep the batteries charged after shutting down number 2 and applying ground power. Well, I had no problem at all with that. It turned around just fine. We've had those 3 issues that we talked about already, so they were the VNAV path indication still showing on the primary flight display for the entire flight. Then we had the NP not running up to 100% when going to takeoff power. And what was the last one? I don't even remember. But you can see that overall it had some minor issues there, but overall it worked really fine. So at the present status, there are still some updates to come, but I am really happy with it for now. And yeah, that's probably going to be the end of the live stream, because tomorrow morning I have a couple of things to do. So I would like to thank everyone for being here today. Hope that you've enjoyed this one. And if you did, then do let me know in the comments below. As always, thank you very much for watching, and I'm looking forward to see you all again very soon. And if you want to support the channel, why not become a channel member, which is going to give you exclusive early access to new videos before they're released for anyone else. And in the sooner future, there will also be some channel exclusive member videos, at least for now. We'll see if they go public at any moment later, but I cannot guarantee that yet. For now, thank you very much for watching, everyone, and I'm really looking forward to see you all again, hopefully very soon.